The beauty of sport is that you get judged by one thing and one thing only. Every single one of us here will be judged at the end of the day by the result.
The prize in each team's sights is the Louis Vuitton Cup. If you're the team holding this trophy at the end of the Challenger Selection Series, you're a step closer to the holy grail of the old mug here in Barcelona.
Today, the curtains are opening on this spectacular set.
American Magic disaster.
Good pressure.
You never know what's going to happen in that stuff. No lead is big enough.
Left turn, Hugo.
It may have been ugly, but it doesn't matter.
It's a bit more stressful than it needed to be, eh?
We did our jobs, we got into the semifinals.
Alinghi, Red Bull Racing, the team now under all the pressure.
We're just gonna go out there and try to win as many races as we can.
Alinghi, Red Bull Racing, 2 valuable points.
Nice one, guys.
I can't say. I think all clear, all clear. I think we hammered him no matter what. Yeah. Nice work, boys.
We're going to have a sail-off for first.
Very early. Go past. Yep. Nice work.
This one will hurt the Italians.
Bad luck, boys. Oh, what is all good?
The Challenger record gets the job done.
Good for the team, now.
INEOS Britannia finished top.
I think we're only beginning to see the potential of these machines and these teams.
It is going to be a monster of a Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final series. Molt bona tarda. This is Saturday in Barcelona, the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals, a day where the race for survival shifts up another gear. The pairings are set, and top qualifier INEOS Britannia chose Alinghi Red Bull Racing, with Ben Ainsey saying competition will only get tighter as teams find their AC75 sweet spot. Rossa Pirelli, who finished the round-robin second, will face off against American Magic. The target in each pairing, first to 5 race wins, and you're in the Louis Vuitton Cup final. And that's what part of the 37th America's Cup Regatta we are in at the moment. Winning this, the Louis Vuitton Cup. If you're successful in doing that, you get to challenge the oldest sporting trophy in history and a chance to see dreams realised. So we're at the second stage of the Louis Vuitton Cup. It started with 5 in the Challenger round robins. Last week, Orient Express Racing were eliminated for finishing last. Now it's the semis, and potentially as early as next week, another 2 will go home, and the remaining pair will be left to meet in the final to vie for the honour of facing Emirates Team New Zealand in the match. Out of the box first today, the Italians, who got to choose a port start against American Magic, followed by the top qualifier INEOS Britannia, who chose the Swiss as opponents, a starboard entry, and to be the second race of the day. Once those 2 races are done, we go again, but everybody swaps their entries into the start box for a much anticipated 4-race day. Rossa Pirelli, they set the standard early, but failed to finish top. A lot of work to be done, and they face American Magic. What a day for them, and what a day too for Paul Goodison, injured helmsman, and supporting Lucas Calabrese. It is nerves all around in the American Magic camp. And then there's Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They came home strong in the round robins, and they'll face the might of the challenger of record, and you know who that is, INEOS Britannia. Can they get any faster? Can they be the dominant force? There'll be anticipation and tension on the water, and that will be multiplied in the race villages and fan zones along the coast. It quite simply is a huge day. So let's check in on the racing weather with Shirley Robertson.
Tension is high here in Barcelona. Day 1 of the semis, and it's a 2-point day. Teams must deliver to get that vital semi-final initiative. The racetrack, as we've already seen, nearly always brings its own drama. It's never straightforward. The sun is out and the cold morning offshore breeze has rotated to the south, and we've a 7 to 12 knots on offer today. And as we've been seeing, having a game plan is vital. And to help us get familiar with the America's Cup course, with the magic of Windsight IQ, we're able to plot the real-time breeze in a wind map. It's very cool. Green is more breeze, blue less. Crunch that data through our own AC75 performance simulation, and we can hopefully all have an accurate heads up on what could well be the match-winning strategy.
Opening race of the day, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, American Magic.
5 days is an age in America's Cup development, and we can fully expect Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli to re-enter the ring fully upgraded. An already fast and slick outfit, look out for more as we enter the battle of the semis. Drivers Jimmy Spidell and Francesco Bruni were left smarting at the end of round robins. They'll come out swinging. Behind them, the rock-solid Molinari and Tise keep it smooth, and that Italian power team keeping it all well fed with oil. Voltolini, Gabbia, and on the starboard pedals, Liuzzi and Rossetti.
After making it through to the Louis Vuitton semi-finals, American Magic have had plenty on, losing port helmsman Paul Goodison with 5 broken ribs, and have called in reserve helmsman Lucas Calabrese to join Tom Slingsby in driving Patriot. The American team will need to dig deep and rely on their global skills and experience against the in-form Italian team of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli in these first races of the Louis Vuitton semi-final series.
So welcome to the opening day, and that's something you don't expect to see. You want to see the helmsmen in their seats. We have just been made aware by race management that American Magic have played their 15-minute delay card. Their 15-minute delay card. Now, I know Glenn Ashby, who joins me, 3-time America's Cup champion, along with 2-time Olympic gold medalist Shirley Robertson and Peter Lester, American tactician on the water. You were listening into their comms. Where does the problem lie? Just your understanding of what's gone on.
Yeah, we think there's an issue with their comms on board, and it's impossible to sail these boats without great comms and being able to talk to the other side of the boat. So we think that's it. We're sort of guessing from what we've been eavesdropping, and I'm sure we're here pretty soon. But not long to wait. It's a 15-minute maximum delay for the start of this race.
So that just adds a little bit more pressure onto a team that is already under pressure. We saw pictures of Paul Goodison, who was injured late last week, and quite simply Lucas Calabrese comes into a situation that is just loaded with high America's Cup pressure, Glenn.
Look, there certainly is a lot of pressure on getting absolutely everything right here in this early stages of the semi-final series, and seeing laptops there on board. Not 100% sure it is comms, but whatever it is, you've got to make sure that that's absolutely right. And each team getting a 15-minute delay card. Only one chance of using that card for this series, so you've got to use it wisely.
Yeah, you've got to really be careful when you spend that, and so it must be a real issue for them to spend it right off the bat.
Well, I suppose if you're going to use it and you think you're a chance to maybe jag a win first up, because you jag a win first up, it changes the game quite a bit, right?
Definitely want to get off on the right foot, absolutely 100%. And if there's any doubt in any of the settings or the systems on board the yacht, you're wise to use it. You absolutely have to have everything working 100% as you would do in any other sport.
All right, well, let's just go on board Chase Zero with Peter Lester. And Peter, we've seen Shirley's just done the weather, but it'd be nice just to now go onto the water with you and just get a feel for how that's going to unfold over this opening race of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals.
Looks beautiful out here. The sou'wester, or south, is in at 175 degrees. I was listening on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli before they decided on a jib, and there was lots of discussion. They were on the crossover. They've elected to go with a J3, and right now they're ripping around, and it looks good breeze. The forecast is for the wind to get up a little bit more, but this is just perfect conditions for day one of the semi-finals.
Hey, you've been pretty good at picking race winners here. What are you picking today in the opening race of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals? And don't be shy and stay up that lovely white picket fence of yours.
Oh, dear Stephen. First race of the semis, I guess, just in terms of... this one's quite even. I think the barometer for me is slightly in the Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli corner. I think they'll go in as favourites, but... for American Magic, if they can just sort out their comms on board, which I'm sure they will, and if the upset of losing Paul Goodison isn't too great, and they can get a combination going between the two helmsmen, we know that boat is quick in this condition. but I guess my barometer is slightly with Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Yeah, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli's one of his helmsman, the helmsman Jimmy Spittle, was pretty relaxed at the opening press conference for the semi-finals, wasn't he, Shirley? He wasn't giving away too much. He was a bit bolshy, and he didn't sound too upset at not finishing top of the table. And when you heard the comms at the end of the race, you heard him say, "Oh, well, there you go, boys," and you heard Francesco say, "Oh, no worries."
Stephen, it all starts again today. I mean, we have had some good news. It looks like USA will start sailing again soon. The issue has actually been it's been a Cyclor problem on this port side, and so they're testing currently whether the pedaling is actually, pumping the oil round. But they look ready to go, ready-ish anyway.
Well, speaking of Cyclors, we are going to give you a chance in the semi-finals to take a look at the Cyclors on both boats. And there you go. We've been talking about all along the recumbent Cyclor position. Some of you that do that at the gym, it's a little bit different because you're having to pedal a hell of a lot harder. But that's what they believe will power them to potentially a Louis Vuitton Cup final.
Yeah, Madison Molitor there, ready to get into it, and I'll just be waiting for the green light from the tech team there to initiate their sailing. So you can see the amount of controls and screens and information all the Cyclor teams have. American Magic obviously in a recumbent cycling position compared to the other teams in a more traditional cycling sense. So the reason American Magic have gone for that recumbent sort of Cyclor position, if you like, is due to their boat design being slightly thinner and lower profile than some of what the other teams have. So aerodynamically, they've sort of needed to go into that lower profile recumbent cycling position to keep the crew's heads down below the shear line of the deck for aerodynamic purposes.
Now, speaking of American Magic, expectations are high. The New York Yacht Club's American Magic, but with 4 points from the possible 8 in the Challenger Round Robin Series, a third-place finish means they're going to be eager to lift their performance against a very demanding semi-final opponent.
American Magic disaster coming off the floor. There will be a sitting duck there.
In comes American Magic to complete race number 7. They come up empty-handed.
So lucky fellas.
I think our performance in the round robin was substandard.
American Magic on that downwind leg, fourth leg. Luna Rossa Prada probably just went away.
Bad luck, guys.
American Magic just coming off her foils there.
Big potholes out here.
It wasn't a reflection of exactly who we were. I'm certain we expected more out of ourselves in each one of those 4 losses.
Nice work, fellas.
I do think Patriot is a very fast boat, and I guess as a sailing team, our hands have got to be up a little that we're not sailing the boat to its potential at the moment, so I don't have any complaints about our design team. I'm not disappointed at all with the boat we've been given.
I think what you see with the entire fleet is that all the boats are good, and every boat has their moments, and really the opportunities to get better out of the round robin and in this week in between the round robins and the semifinals is what we've been focused on.
INEOS Britannia, we'd like to pick for the semi-finals of the Louis Vuitton Cup. We'd like to race Arno and Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
The Luna Rossa as a team is very well polished. They made it to the match in AC36, and it's the same helm combination, and so they have that time together, which makes them a very formidable opponent.
Yeah, obviously we didn't know Ben's pick, but we've kind of been quietly preparing for Luna Rossa, thinking that's the way it may go. Probably be a little more daunted than I am sitting here today. They have shown weakness. They lost their last 3 matches in the round robin. All they needed to do was win one of those. It shows they're human. It shows that they make mistakes, and yeah, we're excited for the challenge.
And then there's American Magic, a new helmsman.
Steering Patriot today on the port wheel for the first time in the Louis Vuitton Challenger Series is Lucas Calabrese.
Lucas is an unbelievably talented sailor. The way he can see the wind and his ability to read wind shifts on the water, it's almost second to none that I've seen.
15 seconds, better all the time.
Having raced with him, he is of one person that if you could choose in this situation, he's the guy that you would choose. We have a confidence in our equipment, we have a confidence in Patriot, we have confidence in our people. Small incremental changes will net a reasonably big gain. If we do it well, then Patriot's a fast boat, and I'm certain she'll find her way to the front.
We have a lot of room for improvement as a sailing team in how we sail this boat. I don't think we're reaching its potential at the moment. So that's what I'm trying to get our sailors and myself to a level that we are doing the boat justice. And yeah, so that's our goal heading into the semi-final.
American Magic holding nothing back, and look at that, one of the big crowds that have got together at the fan zone in the race village for racing today, the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. A corker of a day. You heard Peter Lester say perfect sailing conditions, and we are almost good to go. At 2:25 is the official start time for the opening race of the semi-finals. It's now 2:16 locals, about 9 minutes away from a start. I want to go back, team, to Tom Slingsby, because very confident straight away in that chat there says, we've seen weaknesses in Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. They've lost their last 3 races. You've got to hang on to something. If you know that you're probably going in as a slight underdog.
I think there's strengths and weaknesses with all the teams, to be honest, particularly what we saw over the round robin series. We saw some snakes and ladders, and I think what we have seen is, you know, a lot of these different designs, you know, different foils and different sort of sail choices, you know, are paying off sometimes and not others. So it's really coming down to a great sailing race, which is exciting.
I think also they've had a few days to bed in that new partnership between Lucas Calabresi and himself, and they'll go out today way more confident than when we last saw them, way more polished, and they really have put in some hours on the racetrack.
We have to talk about them being under pressure, putting the Calabresi in there. You've heard Terry Hutchinson, and both he and Tom Slingsby, you know, huge raps, but the change is enormous. I mean, for 2 years, only 2 guys have been basically intuitive towards each other.
It's certainly been a rough run for American Magic. You know, they're a very, very strong team and a lot of experience there. And, you know, Lucas Calabresi has done a lot of yachting. He's not he knows where the wind's coming from, so I think they'll be absolutely fine. I do feel very much, though, for Paul Goodison. Obviously, broken ribs, absolutely terrible, you know, for any point in time. You'd rather another broken bone. Ribs, you can't sleep, you can't sit. You can't cough or sneeze. Broken ribs are really annoying, so our hats off to Paul, and hopefully he'll get better soon. Yeah, I think it does take time.
I think all of the American Magic family would love to see him back on the boat after so much time together. What do you make of the sea state at the moment? We see that shot of American Magic going up, because it has been a talking point. What do you make of it at the moment?
I think, as Pete said earlier, you know, fantastic conditions out there, and the forecast is actually for it to slowly build throughout the day. So we're around about sort of 9 to 10 knots at the moment. We expect that to keep increasing over the coming hour or so, so that should be fantastic for racing.
All right, well, we're not too far away from racing. As you can see, top left, about 6.5 and just under. Let's just re-familiarise yourself with the weather, Shirley.
Yeah, lovely shot here of the wind field. 8 to 10 knots, as Glenn said. We're going to see that slowly increase. Currently, the breeze is still quite far left. I think we're just in the south. Historically, we're expecting a rotation to the right as the day progresses, but, you know, nothing is certain here in Barcelona. Great wind down in the start box, looking at the wind field, and up in the top right-hand corner. So keep an eye on that. And here is the ghost boat, liking the right-hand side for pressure over there. But I think it's not a clear course, is it? It might be quite even. Actually, the breeze is in the left, but historically, we have seen it turn to the right. Beautiful day here in Barcelona. Look at Luna Rossa glistening.
The silver bullet ready to hit chamber and fire the first big shot, the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. To think that they were the hot favourite at one point, 6-0 in the round robin series. Then when it mattered, and we can try and pull this to pieces as much as we want, but they didn't get the result they wanted. Let's be blunt. You're that good, you want to finish top. But INEOS Britannia came out and said, well, hang on a minute. And they got Britannia just absolutely rocketing around the course.
Yes.
On board, Luna Rossa, Prada, Pirelli. Still 4 minutes 45 to go, so both teams on board will be getting their settings dialed in for these conditions. Both teams on similar jibs. See Madison Molitor there. putting a bit of effort in. And
Stand by jibe.
Andrew Campbell
With
flight control.
3, 2. Big lefty. 1.
Oh, it looks pretty miserable, doesn't it? Look at Madison Molitor, top left, bottom left-hand corner. It is so tight and hot and hard. What will he have on that screen, Glenn, do you think, that he's looking at?
He'll be binge watching something.
Probably watching the live feed. Probably listening to you, Stephen.
Oh, God. That would make me stop straight away.
It's got pin in favour here, so...
But what is he actually looking at?
He'll be looking at the race software. He'll be looking at where they are positioned on the course. He'll be also looking at the pump pressures, hydraulic pressures, and what trim function is actually being used by the trimmers on board. So very, very intently watching that screen. That is his whole life there, anticipating what he needs to do. And those buttons will be gear changes and pump selection on his hands. So a lot going on there for the Cyclor team.
I know where I'd rather be right now. I'm quite happy in this little spot here. With you two and Pete on the water, because that looks incredibly uncomfortable, but that's the way American Magic have chosen to go to power Patriot in the opening race and the whole of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. All right, must be getting close to a clearance of race management. Let's see what Mel has got for us from race management.
This is the race committee. We've completed the wind sampling, and this race is live.
Officially, we are good to go on the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. And first up, it'll be Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. They have got port entry, so they can enter from 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Starboard, it will be American Magic, and they can enter the start box from 2 minutes. And then the good old dance begins.
Good to kill. Yep, just hold the 2. Still 1 and a little bit. Still to kill. 0 to kill.
A little bit of port bias on this start line.
Handle for Tinty and happy to go. Come away that wheel.
They get the green light.
Yes, at the moment it's a little line
time on distance
left,
good.
okay.
Now it's 2 minutes for American Magic. And they are good to go as well. Now the pressure ramps up. Start critical.
Okay, just below, stand by. 3, 2, 1, put down. Continuous.
The object of the game here to try and get a better start than your opponent. So first priority to start, second priority to try and get a better start than your opponent. Third priority to even get a penalty on your opponent if you can, but first priority is to try and at least get an even start. And this is the dance to try and put your opponent on the back foot.
Yeah, it's very pin-end favoured here, 90 metres now. Happy to take a touch more height from
Tom's things be calling. Big pin-in favour. Expect him to lead back, probably lead out to the left.
Probably no higher than that. Okay, 25.
Some Cyclor power here at the moment in a straight line.
Here and jibe. Okay, bring away.
See some power come in now as the sails get adjusted.
1 and board.
It's a 700 watts there in the manoeuvre for the Cyclors.
We've seen over the last couple of weeks, it's not just about positioning on that line, it's about hitting that line at absolutely over maximum pace.
Luna Rossa here having to really make a decision there to lead back.
Full speed from here. How's that angle? Still overlap. Thanks for a re-roll. Fast here. Okay, bit fast. 7 to be almost racing, okay?
Final 30 seconds at the start.
Rolling down speed.
Luna Rossa sailing back through gas here, so American Magic possibly rolling over the top of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli here.
Turning right. Yeah. Okay, he's going behind you.
Jimmy Spittle heading up.
One lane push hard here, guys. They're trying to build here. Okay, we are lane.
Tough spot for Luna Rossa.
Yeah, early advantage American Magic.
Down. Hey, stand by. Put down in 2.
The Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals have arrived, so let's do this.
Pressure this way. Really good push here.
Great start by American Magic. They really wanted that left-hand side, and they took it.
No more. Okay, he's coming. He's early with us. Good pressure where we're going. See what this puff does in front. Still continues, a little lighter patch here.
It's pumping about 6.
Hey.
Lucas Calabrese will be enjoying the position they're in at the moment, but they will be looking to hit
Scoreboard down, my button.
Luna Rossa now.
In 3, 2, 1.
And turning.
Oh, just punch through here for now.
Yep. Put pressure on your nose.
Pressing here.
Presses. I'll be for a little wider build.
Chris, push the top left button. Okay, stand by. Two.
A bit faster.
Hey, Trav.
Pose for attack.
Copy.
So Luna Rossa opted to tack back. Not a lot of runway back to that boundary, so 2 down-speed tacks there for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. So
coming up there.
Let's try and get it going, guys.
Let's head to chase 0. Peter Lester, good start by American Magic.
Pressure at 5. Try, got to build here.
Yeah,
boys, gotta
first
build.
shot in the semi-final to American Magic. That was a good start. Now, what I think the teams are looking for and protecting is that right-hand shift, and it's this, as the Hamish Wilcox of Luna Rossa, the coach, their weather expert, talks about the banana effect around the shore over on the city front. And that's what the teams are protecting at the moment.
big gain there to American Magic. 2 down-speed tacks there for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli have really put them on the back foot early here, Shirley, and they've got a bit of work to do.
Going -2 here, no more.
Yeah, Luna Rossa, they've run out of runway. There's nowhere to go. Apparently, they just have to suck it up, get into the middle of the track, and then start to make some decisions. And as we watch it, we watch the meters just growing and growing between them.
Get speed and we go.
A little bit of a lefty, so...
stand by.
I think we're just going to go to this lay line. Keep tacks.
Okay, let's go back with him. Okay, stand by. A little light and then pressure in about 10. 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, -3.
There you go, good pressure coming, guys.
American Magic there, just going across to that little line of pressure, Shirley, and that'll be a slight advantage to them going across. They will be looking to hit Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli again on the way back, so they're not affecting the numbers tack with their dirty air, but as soon as they come back another tack, they'll be trying to line them up.
Yeah, that wind field showing us that the left-hand side actually really strong at the top of the course.
Early in the day for this breeze building, so we have seen later in the day some advantages to that right-hand side, but as it feels, possibly a left-hand track at the moment.
On release, easy boys.
It's going quite a bit past. Okay, he tacks now. Okay, my button here has made a big gain. 3, 2, 1.
And turning.
A little gain there to Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, but now not much runway to tack back and clear their air, so they're going to have to punch through the dirt there, and they are on lay line, so they're going to have to eat a bit of dirt all the way into the top here.
Hey, Trav. Just going to hold a bit high here for an extra.
It's probably going to split.
Yeah.
Luna Rossa looks dangerous when you come on the road.
Starting to go fast, we're going left turn.
American Magic with a solid opening leg in this first Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final, and they will lead Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli at the top gate. But the Italians are stalking.
Catching under.
3, 2, 1, clear.
Going down.
All the way.
It's pretty soft this way.
Early
So
power,
they'll
guys.
go a split tack around the marks and head down for the first downwind leg.
It is coming. Nice, good maneuver.
Real hairpin turn there for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, but they executed that really well. American Magic, nice slingshot over speed,
Hey, we're going to go here.
possibly sailing into more pressure down that side of the course. So
Certainly the ghost boat's liking American Magic's track or pressure on the right.
Right, please. Yeah, just be careful on the early board ups.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.35 nautical miles.
So throw another mini spanner into the works. It's getting a little lighter. That's why they're shortening the course. So tactics will change at a speed of light.
Should get stronger.
Yeah, careful, not too much lower here though.
There is nothing in this match.
Okay, copy, let's get speed first. I think we are
Big
crossing.
decision
We're
for
crossing.
American Magic here, what they do strategically and tactically down the course here.
Always good pressures, guys. Happy to back it off a tiny bit.
That's fine. Let's lifting Lucas on the jib boom. Let's just say a little deeper than target. Copy.
178 getting headed.
Nice. We're in phase here, guys. Happy to just continue. Just looking around, there is not a big difference.
On board, Luna Rossa, Prada
Little
Pirelli.
pressure over here now. Okay, we just passed the G-spot here.
Take her down here.
Hang on,
That's good
lefty, so
angle.
we've got to hold here now.
Yep. Mid flat tail.
Yep, coming at you.
So the Italians sailing into more pressure at the
Bye.
moment.
2. Oh no, hold. Are you sure? No, go straight.
I'm
Yeah.
also sailing into more pressure at this
Still a long
bottom
way.
end of the course as well.
Sorry,
so
look at the wrong one. All good, all good. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Still a lefty here.
still quite a nice advantage to the Americans.
Hey, stand by. 2, 1.
Really nice pitch control there on American Magic. Been watching them coming down and sailing the boat really nicely at the moment. Not giving Luna Rossa a whole lot of options there to get back into this, so extending their lead all the time here, sailing into nice breezes.
American Magic looks a different boat today since we last saw the massive improvements in teamwork.
Big game, probably. He's getting a big lefty, unfortunately.
Big tailway there. Big tailway there for American Magic. So sailing into some really nice breeze and angle there. Good gains.
Bringing the can offset back.
American Magic doing a job at this point in time. Still 4 legs to go in this opening bout of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. But it's Patriot rounding the bottom gate and heading up on leg number 3.
Pretty nice left shift there, 150.
And they've put a tidy gap on Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli at this point in the race.
The jib on Lucas. Okay, when he tacks, we'll go back with him.
The Italians down around the mark, and then they will follow American Magic up.
Hey, stand by. 2. Hey, sure. Boat's going. A little fast out of this, guys.
Nice pressure coming in 5
Not
seconds.
too many options there for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and Americans have been in a fast mode here to get their bow forward
Nice
here.
lefty, happy to keep it fast.
Negative 2.
A little bit more shift or a little
less bleed for those tags. Yeah.
A bit less bleed. Rolling up a touch here. What more do you like, Tom?
VMG, please.
Bisco on the American Magic chase boat and head up coach Tom Burnham. Tom, cracking start, beautiful control of the race at this point.
Yeah, the guys are sailing really well, doing a great job. Really impressive. It's nice to be a little bit flatter water than we had the last few days, that's for sure, but still tricky out here. A lot of shifts.
How was Lucas feeling coming into this race?
Lucas is doing great. He's feeling good. He's working on making sure he's executing all the little bits and pieces that you have to do to get these boats around the track, and he's doing a great job right now.
How's Terry feeling beside you?
6-7. Terry's doing great. It's definitely keeps us on our edge of our seats over here, that's for sure.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you, guys.
Now copy, pressure will come.
Here he goes, my button. Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
And turning. He's still there.
Hey, Trav.
Pretty left in general. Nice. Little header on him. We'll tack on that. Stand by. Yep. 3.
Almost a carbon copy of that first work, Shirley. The Americans just putting the clamps on Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, really forcing them to tack when they don't really want to tack. So making it hard for the Italians to pick some wind shifts to get back into this. So
a little puff of 5. A good pressure here.
It's so hard to sit in dirt. It not only affects your boat speed, but also the angle. I mean, the wind you see is at least 5 degrees lower than the actual breeze.
Transition hill.
Painful to sit there.
3, 2.
It is American Magic really having to sail well though to maintain control.
Stand by. My button in 2.
Heading towards that top gate. We'll just quickly jump in to chase zero. Petey, what do you make of this so far? American Magic covering, and it's almost classic match racing.
From here we can go
Yeah, absolutely, but they really did good work at the bottom of that downwind leg, and then the way they exited the bottom mark, and they saw a little bit more pressure out to the left, American Magic, and they put their nose into that, so when they tacked back both boats on port, American Magic put their bow down and just punched forward and got out to around 200 metres advantage. So they haven't put a foot wrong on the American boat. Luna Rossa is hanging in there though. It will only take one small error by the Americans and the Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli will be all over them.
Stand by. Down here in 3.
Approaching the halfway mark of the opening salvo in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli finished second, and it was third place in the round robins to American Magic, but they are the ones leading Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli at the moment. They are in control at this point being the halfway mark, and that was after taking a 15-minute delay. And they are going good right now. They go around the mark. Oh, hang on!
That's a big wash-off of speed there.
From Peter Lester called it. One slight mistake could be costly.
Yep.
Had they got back up.
As the pressure look to boundary, you got 20 seconds.
Looks all right here.
Really big loss in speed there. You'll see quite a good gain there to Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Happy to go any time from here.
That sort of speed, you absolutely want to keep the hull clean and really use that slingshot to your advantage. The speed that the Italian team took around that mark, they'll actually show a slight gain. So American Magic really need to keep the foot on the gas here and keep sailing the boat well and avoid those little unforced errors which will allow the Italians to close the gap.
Here it is.
So Madison Muller's over there, 175 beats per minute. That is right up near the red line. He won't be the only one. There's 4 Cyclors on board there, so all pushing hard. But you can see that wobbly mark rounding has turned into a big gain for the Italians.
Better ahead.
2, 1, and board's going.
So Bruno Rossetti back in more of a traditional cycling mode there. Dripping his sweat all over the camera, so the camera might need a bit of a wipe later on for sure, but 465 watts. Both teams working really hard here to power those big sails in these light to medium conditions. Big gains to the Italians here at the moment.
Luna Rossa really pushing down and great pace. Coming into more pressure, the green spot just in front of them.
I think we go on ley line and we go on JK.
How do we think here?
American Magic really having to sail well from here to keep their elbows out.
And lock him if you need to.
Luna Rossa are on the charge.
We wait for him to jive in that case.
Okay, that's the late line there.
This is what you call America's Cup racing, Peter Lester.
Well, it's game on now. American Magic after that jibe looked pretty quiet, and in fact they've now jibed away. So this bottom mark approach and exit, it could be the game changer for this one. Big manoeuvre coming up in the next, 2 or 3 minutes. It could be the deciding one.
Pressure being applied by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli after the American Magic touchdown at the top mark.
I think the Americans might have gone a click thin here.
Almost thinking JK, guys.
Slowly getting down to him.
Clear JK.
Need a big toe down here, the Americans, to keep the lead.
Try and keep me powered here. Went up to in a second. From here or positive?
American Magic have their nose, and it's just a nose in front of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli as they complete the 4th leg.
Turning up.
Expect the Italians to roll straight into attack here.
He tacks.
pressure on you.
Really close race here now.
Yeah, we've got to pick some shifts up here. It's pretty fast. Yeah, one to build here. A big
25.
Okay, a nice lefty here.
We talk about details, the little things that can change the nature of a race. We had one detail, and look at what it's done to this race. All the pressure now back on American Magic after touching down at the completion of the halfway stage, leg 3.
Oh, high points for a second.
It's a big push here for the American team. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli sailing bow free and in clear air. So
pretty nice lefty.
BMG, please.
I was going to say lead change. I'm going to hold that back for a minute.
Next time coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, anyone's race at the moment. So the Italian team of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli wriggling free,
strong initially,
but will take a speed loss as they manoeuvre and then have to re-accelerate back up to about 30 knots. So about a 7 to 8 knot loss of speed, and decision time here as the boats come bow on bow.
Really good piece of pressure coming
All the rights with the Italian as they meet in the middle.
He's coming down a little here in the section. 5 seconds. He's coming down. Happy to come down a little here, please.
Are we dipping?
We're dipping. Coming down, please.
Rolling out now. Coming up. Coming up. Rolling up. All good. You're about to
A really nice job there by Francesco Bruni on the leeward wheel.
Make sure the jib's set nice. Beautiful.
That pressure is going right overall, guys. One to say.
Let's go on board the chase boat of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Philippe Presti, after well, being beaten to start, you're back in the front, but you've had to work hard for it.
Yeah, it was not a very good start, and American did well to keep going in front of us. I think the boys did also downwind, a couple of nice maneuvers, and we're back into the game, but it's not over until it's over. Huh?
I know you won't tell us much, but how confident are you of getting this one? Leg and a bit to go.
Confident, always confident.
All right, thanks, Billy.
My boys, I trust.
I think I've got to go to this pressure here. That's fine. Go to ley line. We're gaining big time here.
So big header there for American Magic. You just look at their track as they cave into the left. So big gain, big swing there to the advantage of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Big left shift still as this breeze establishes itself.
I think we had a cross, right? Yeah, no worries. Okay. Not sure you'll lay though. It's funny. Okay, no, we have good pressure here, Jimmy. Yeah, very good pressure here. Slowly coming out.
I'll be -2 from here.
Yeah, a little high mode, Andre. Copy. Yeah, it'd be great if you could get around this. Here's tack the leeward, so it's just you on the mark. If you don't get there, no problem. We're both one and in left then. I think it's good pressure, Jimmy. I think I can lay no problem. Okay.
Keeping a bit of windward yield, then this is good. -3.
For the first time in this opening Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final, it'll be Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli leading American Magic around the top gate for the last time.
3, 2.
They're on the homeward leg after chasing for 80% of the race.
There we go. Push your boys, push. Nice pressure. I don't see a rush to drive.
And now American Magic.
3, 2.
It's not over yet, but they could look back if they don't get this one and go, what might have been? That'll be a good kick in the guts if that happens. They'll feel that one.
30 seconds to boundary.
No lower.
Average numbers.
So having a look at the ghost boat here, Shirley, and showing quite a nice gain there for Luna Rossa, sailing through that nice bit of pressure and just jibing right on the leading edge of that puff. They'll get a nice little acceleration, I should say. Good excel out of that manoeuvre, and that's what you're after, jibing in pressure and actually being able to get back on the gas early to get the boat down to course and speed.
Just jibed.
Let's go on chase zero. Peter, your thoughts?
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, American Magic were holding Luna Rossa just behind them. Now that Luna Rossa have got out in the lead, they're extending. I think they've got better pace in this condition, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and they waited there. They got their timing to mount that attack perfectly. It was a great pass in the first race of the semi-finals.
I'm just going to ride this down. Massive puff here.
Going cut 20. Next pressure is going straight here for us, right on our hip.
Puff here, let's just hold.
Okay, we're on the long tack. Okay, nice pressure.
Hey, stand by. 2, 1, going, none.
Oh, it's so efficient downwind. They're effectively tacking going downwind.
Got a nice pressure.
Even though they are considered to be jibing, and American Magic sailing to the back of some really nice pressure there at the moment as well. Closing the gap, but will it be enough?
Negative 2.
In this late stage of the race.
Adding a little bit more pressure, so.
Hey, you only got 15 delay.
He's driving now.
Starting. Yep. Hey, got my line. A little further. I think in front of him.
Stand by, guys.
Anytime.
2, 1, hold down.
Pressure move on Luna Rossa here. Have to execute this manoeuvre well, which they do.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, they have been chasing American Magic for the majority of this opening Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final, and they get it done. The silver bullet has fired, and they take a 1-0 lead in the best of 5, the first of 5 against American Magic, who'll be going, what might have been? And Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli's fans celebrate, and why shouldn't they? They have dug themselves out of that one beautifully.
Hey, great start, Tom. Yeah, we're going to just go out past Alinghi.
Oh, a few sighs of wow. Okay, got away with that one on the chase boat. Wow, what a start to Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. Here's the official result. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, 7 seconds in the end. That's all it was. 7 seconds. Wow. Let's take a look at the scoreboard now. There you have it, race 1. Remember, first to 5 wins, and you're in the Louis Vuitton Cup final. And Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, they have got the first notch in the belt.
Well, let's take a little reminder. I mean, beautifully done by American Magic. Luna Rossa late to come back, sailed through the gas, got slow, had to tack away. Great positioning from American Magic, and they were in a controlling position from the get-go.
And then just this little touchdown here, windward heel. Massive pickup of drag on the hull, just allowed the Italians to get the slingshot, a couple of nice clean manoeuvres, and basically right up the exhaust pipe of the Americans. Straight into an immediate tack after the Americans dropping to 24 knots there of boat speed. The Italians tacking and making the passing manoeuvre by sailing some really nice shifts in pressure.
Still tight at the finish, not much in it, but victory to the Italians, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
Come back, boys.
Come back, fellas.
On board Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, Francesco Bruni, first semi-final, first point, but you had to work hard for that one.
Yeah, we didn't have a great start, quite of a bad attack the first one, and we are a little bit on the back foot at the beginning, but the boys did a fantastic job, pushing hard and never giving up.
Super important to take advantage of the chance when you set, particularly with that mistake American Magic made at the top.
Yeah, I think we used every opportunity to stay close and not to give too much space to them. and waiting for a little mistake, and we jump on it. So I'm very proud with the team. We have to focus on the next one.
Francesco, massive congratulations. It was a pleasure to watch that. Very calm on board. You know, how confident are you that when you've got the opportunity, you've got the pace?
Yeah, we got the pace. We are selling, the speed was good. Although on our numbers we could go even better probably, but we are super happy. I think the most important part is that the boys never give up on the bikes, and we had plenty of oil to push hard on them.
Thanks for your time, buddy. All right, let's go into Tom Slingsby on American Magic. That must hurt a little bit, Tom. You had them.
Yeah, we did. They did a great job sort of keeping it tight, and then when an opportunity came up, they pounced, so hats off to them.
Tommy, fantastic start there, and really good job to get the boat off the line. What was the delay card for, mate, at the pre-start there?
We just had a little bit of a systems issue, and we probably could have fixed it, but we just wanted to test it, and we just thought, you know what, we've got that card for a reason. Let's use it.
Tom, confidence is one thing we always talk about, but you, okay, it's a loss. You don't get the point, but you're only 7 seconds behind. You must be feeling good about the way the boat's feeling for everybody now.
Yeah, no, the boat was feeling really nice in that race, and yeah, it was a very patchy race. You would have probably seen from the helicopter views, big differences in angles, and you felt like you had them, and then they get back into it, and yeah, we almost got back to them down that last run, but hats off to our guys for a solid effort, never gave up.
Okay, we'll see you in race 3 of the day, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Well, this was the key move. On the second downwind leg, American Magic was holding the lead that they had since the start. Behind them, Rossa Pirelli were closing down, sailing with building wind behind them. To keep the lead, the Americans were forced to jibe early and run low into gate 4. It cost them speed and forced them slightly wide of the mark. The Italians, well, they came in fast behind and never really looked back.
So let's take a look at the numbers, courtesy of our good friends at Omega.
Yeah, obviously top speed there, a little higher to the Italians, but it's really, you know, the upwind speeds that we're all interested in. And in actual fact, American Magic, we only saw that 7-second delta in the race finish, and all the numbers there, very, very tight. So with only 7 seconds splitting, not much in it. Little more manoeuvres to the Italians, but in the end of the day, just that average speed, just a click better to Rossa Pirelli.
Coming up, it's Switzerland versus INEOS Britannia, and after a closely fought round-robin series, so each challenger twice take on their opponents, it was INEOS Britannia that came out on top, a result that gave them the advantage of picking their semi-final opponent. What a way to finish the round-robin series. A sail-off, and it will be advantage INEOS Britannia.
I'm really proud of the team to come out on top in that sudden death race-off with Luna Rossa. They're really the on-form team in terms of the challenges. It gives us a lot of confidence and momentum going forwards.
Awesome effort, guys.
They will get to choose who they sail in the semi-final.
I think when you're thinking about who you might want to face in the semis, it's coming down to recent performance, long-range weather forecast, maybe a little bit to do with the psyche of the teams. Predominantly, it comes down to performance.
second race of the day. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, INEOS Britannia.
This young sailing team cannot hide the fact that on the world stage, they lack big game experience, but do not underestimate them. The Swiss outfit has a quality backroom that knows what it takes to win. 2 times victorious Alinghi will have been fully locked on to making sure they're ready to face the might of INEOS. Skippered by Sarah Fagus and Bachelan with regular trimming talent, Metro and Rula, and supplying the wattage to make it all possible. Olympic rowers Malfer, Stahlberg, Tunick, and middle distance Supremo and Franco Noti.
INEOS Britannia. This team has really stepped it up during the round-robin series and surprised possibly even themselves, finishing top of the leaderboard and getting to choose their opponent in the Louis Vuitton semi-finals. The team has chosen to line up against their Swiss rivals, Alinghi Red Bull Racing. The British team, led by Ben Ainslie on starboard and rookie to the America's Cup, Dylan Fletcher on port. The team's flight controllers of Mon and McMillan are joined by an enviable power unit led by Olympic rowing gold medalist Matt Gottschall.
This is the race committee. We've passed the wind test, and this race is live.
So 2 minutes and 47 seconds and counting for port entry for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2 minutes and 10 they are allowed in. There's 2 minutes for INEOS Britannia, who chose to come in from starboard, chose to race second, and chose Alinghi Red Bull Racing. The one thing they can't choose is, can they win? Who will win? They have to work hard for that one.
With both teams looking on time for their entries.
Yep, I'm changing it now. Good timing. No lower, good. And you clear.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing get the green light. They are good to go into the start box, waiting now for INEOS Britannia at the 2-minute mark. Tiny bit behind, but time is pretty much spot on. They get the green light as well. So here we go, second race of the day, the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals.
Circle.
Slow increase in breeze, so should see some slight increase in performance and speeds.
Down slightly here to it. Now going all the way down, no rush. Quite tight, 115 pin. 132. One was going down. And made plus 8. So stay high.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing opting to circle, certainly increasing the gap there to INEOS Britannia. So
that's Alinghi
Red Bull Racing now having the option to either jump and lead back or to follow and push.
They look early. I think they're too early. They're staying low. They're below committee line. Plenty of time. Happy to extend behind them. 12 for the mid. They're already low in the box, guys. All over, we below committee line.
Alinghi happy to let them go.
Board up on the high road. Okay, 2, 1, go on board, go mate. Okay, 23s, killing 12, 22s. Happy to go here. Like height when we can. 22, 21 here at the moment. 3 on the exit.
It's that final approach for INEOS Britannia. They're just losing a little bit of speed there.
Happy to do our start pump. 1,
A lot of time to kill there for the British. See the time to kill graphic on the mastheads of both boats, so almost showing the Swiss there a fraction late. So really big push now for the Swiss team to accelerate the boat. They will come in over speed compared to the British.
Inside the last 10 seconds, this is the second race of the day in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. Top qualifier on your left, INEOS Britannia facing up against Alinghi Red Bull Racing, and we are good to go off the coast of Barcelona.
They're going to hit us on the way back.
Big gain to Alinghi Red Bull Racing there. Both boats actually late for the start, so possible lull in breeze. Both boats late there. Expect Alinghi Red Bull Racing to hit the British in the first attack of the race.
Beautiful start by the Swiss, and now with that wide, that gapping off the opposition is so strong, isn't it?
Any lighter here? There you go. Pushing to leeward. Happy. Happy to hit on. Big push that.
Get the feeling would be a replay of the opening race, just move for move. Let's go on board Chase Zero with Peter Lester. What did you make of it, Pete?
Well, with both boats being late, it sort of evened the course up, and that gave the advantage to Alinghi Red Bull Racing. I was a little bit surprised that the INEOS didn't push harder for the line, because the line was open for them. Now we've got another classic race, and who has the speed, who's faster? Both boats heading over towards the city side or over to the right, and that the wind over the course looks a little bit more even than it did for the first match.
Hey, this is going right. Anytime you feel like a good time. Okay. Anytime from now when you feel a better. Stand by here. Two, one, forward down. 3, 2, 1, mate. Turning. Hey, mind. 2, 1, going. Whip. Okay, focus on B and G here.
Britannia doing a really nice job to actually keep their air clean all the way across on that previous tack. So doing the best job they can do to keep it tight and actually keep now a little bit of pressure on Alinghi Red Bull Racing to stay clear to win with there. So very tight race.
Feels like they might struggle to get to boundary. Got pressure coming down towards in 10 here. Could be lefty.
INEOS Britannia actually closing that gap. They did so well positioning.
They've kept their air intake clean the whole way across here, so absolutely doing the best possible job they can after that late start.
Put down. 2, 1, no. Okay, slow here. 2, 1, go on board. Here we go. I'll just press 4 for now. 2, 1. Nice pressure coming on. Pressure now.
So what Alinghi Red Bull Racing need to do now, they actually need to hurt them on the next tack. So they haven't really put them in the dirty air as yet. They will need to line them up on this next one to take an advantage.
When do you want to get out of here, man? When you see a good moment pressure-wise? Yeah, okay. Happy to open the gym. Yeah, we have 20 seconds on board for the lay line. Probably got to go. Let's think about going here. Yeah, stand by. 2, 1, forward down. 3, 2, 1, mate. Turning. 1, 2, 1, going board. A little softer here.
Red Bull Racing pushing all the way to lay line here. They'll have to be careful of the boundary.
Then they back. Pressure top right maybe for the run, but also top left looks good. Talk to me about here.
So Alinghi Red Bull Racing attacking there on what they think is potentially the lay line there for the top of the course. So we're hoping they can get a little lift there, a little right-hand breeze, accelerate the boat up to speed and save themselves one manoeuvre versus INEOS.
15 seconds on the box. Be close with them at the top. That's the rest now. Yeah, most of it. Nice, very good speed. Big rating. 2, 1, slow down.
For the second consecutive race, another fascinating first upwind leg, but at this point in time, it's advantage Alinghi Red Bull Racing, but not by much. They will lead the Challenger of Record at the top gate. Leg 1's done, 5 to go. It's a long way. And in goes INEOS Britannia. Nothing in the second race of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals.
Hold it.
Oh yes, you love that early excitement. Just remember, 5 legs to go. Remember American Magic in race 1.
Off the course at the moment, we're just getting in front of it. Locking it in. Gonna get light in a minute. Okay, working up.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.45 nautical miles.
Okay, getting closer, stand by.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing, they're possibly driving back a little earlier than I would have thought they would have backed through the gas and dirty air there. So big gains there to INEOS Britannia, all getting quite high there and heeled. So that rudder only just in the water there for the British. So they're the right-of-way boat now. Alinghi Rebel Racing having to give way. And a high-pressure dive here for Alinghi.
No problem, lads. Nice work. Yeah. Nice, lads. Lock it again. Should be along this way now, Sean. Little increase in 3.
INEOS Britannia just blowing through to lead there, so a lead change
Eyes on them.
in this race.
Only one side.
That's an EQ there. Yeah, faster, similar angle at the minute.
We've seen INEOS Britannia really quite quick in these conditions on the downwind legs.
Back down, big lefty.
Where is the breeze? Just
A nice gauge there last
Really nice puff out that left-hand side looking downwind. INEOS Britannia, and beautiful jibe. You saw how quickly the boat hooked up out of it, which meant there was a good shift as well as pressure. So definitely picked the right way to go there.
Quite well. Good. Hey, quiet going board. Nice, lock it in again.
Let's go on board Chase Zero. Peter Lester. Didn't take long for INEOS Britannia to find its nose in front.
Well, we just know from all the other racing that INEOS are really fast on the downwind leg. Also, the left-hand side of the downwinds has been favoured. Seems like a little bit more pressure, especially on the downwind on the left.
Perfect example of how quick they are. INEOS Britannia downwind. Stomping the foot on the accelerator.
Lined up a couple of beautiful shifts and puffs down there, Shirley, and really done some damage against Alinghi Rebel Racing there. And I think mostly shift and puff related. They're obviously going well performance-wise as well, but really lining up some nice ones there.
Fine. Hit it. 1, go on board. Okay, a little increase coming in 10. Slow hit. Lock it in, let the speed come. Pressure looks okay out of this right turn at the moment. How does it look the other way? I think it's light. I think we take the right turn. Could be right in 15. In assessments, we can always cover. Yep. Happy here for now, this is good. It's going softer patch in 5. Going light at the mark.
Major speed on the first downward leg for INEOS Britannia.
Here for now. 5 away.
They really have made a statement to Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 1 little wobble and we will get you. And we will get you good. They've really opened up a big gap. In comes Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Led at the top gate, not at the bottom, completing leg number 2. The second race of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals.
Keep pushing.
Nice rounding by both teams there. Alinghi Red Bull Racing having to sort of do the quite soaky, slow 2-board turn, so speed advantage there to the British, taking the right turn looking downwind, and British now just looking to put the clamps on this race and not give Alinghi Red Bull Racing too much breathing room from here.
Pressure coming in 2. 90 now. Watching the immersion there, Blends just all good. Like good pressure on the bow, eh? Yeah. Breeze still left as well. Heat tags. Having to switch the other side of him. I think it hasn't looked at the top left though. It looks okay, just looks really good on the bow here, doesn't it? Yeah. And nice. Further away on the left. Nice shift too, eh? So, yeah. No breather. Not far from boundary. Going level in this puff. Okay. Down, Rebel, you again. Forward down. Right. Second half.
What to do here?
Onto Alinghi Red Bull Racing's chase boat with coach Pietro Civello. Great start, but out of that top gate. How do you call that one, Pietro?
Yeah, for sure was a great start. The guys did an amazing job in super fast on the line, and then keep covering the INEOS to the top gate. Of course, the split there didn't help, and they seem to be fast downwind, and now we are a bit behind. But the guys, I mean, it's super job. They're doing a great job keeping it close, and I'm sure that we are very close to win the races.
Just how much confidence you get from knowing you can win starts like that?
That's for sure.
Yeah, it is important, you know. It's everything we can do. Our coaches team, Dean Barker, Jason Waterhouse, Phil Robertson, they're doing a great job on working on the pre-start, and you guys can see the outcome of it. For sure, starting in front is key to win races. Now we have to work on the second stage.
Yeah, hear what you're saying. Thanks for your time, Petro.
Thank you.
INEOS Britannia just doing a really nice job of lining up some good breeze and some good shifts on this upwind, and not really giving Alinghi Red Bull Racing any wriggle room at all. They've got some great vision up the course, the British, and the comms between Dylan Fletcher and Ben Ainsley really looking far up the course and out wide to what they're sailing into, so really sailing the boat well.
Go nice, lads. Thinking about we might want to take this right turn at the top then and get back into that shift.
This is Matt Gottfried, Olympic gold medalist rowing.
Sounds like a plan.
It's quite a big heart rate.
Look like this right
Phenomenal athletes, all these cyclers.
All good here. Not sure. Okay, we're going right turn.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shifting the axis to 170.
In about
Halfway through the second semi-final of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals here in Barcelona. It's INEOS Britannia who have stretched their lead on Alinghi Red Bull Racing as they head downwind on leg number 4. Britannia's quick.
Look up, the major. Lock it in. There's the hookup, still more coming. Okay, big pin on here, lads. Nice.
Voice of Lee McMillan there, flight control. Just taking on some wind spotting and moding duties for the team. Doing a nice job.
Pressure back in 5.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing trying to put into action the words of Pedro Isabella. We know we can start. It's the second part we've got to get right. Right now, they've got to catch INEOS Britannia. And that, at this particular point in time, is a tall order.
1 and clear. All the way out.
Nice rounding there from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They keep doing simple things well. Keep pressure on their opponents.
Lighter in front, but still on the right team. Think fast. A bit to push them. Yep. Fast.
Has rotated slightly to the right-hand side as predicted.
Pressing past, potentially pressing past would be interesting. That's going to be able to gas down there. Okay, good bit of pressure here. Nice hook up here. Yeah, they're just going to drive that boundary. A couple more puffs here. Open course for us. How's it look that side? Just okay. It's pretty patchy again. I think if you come right here, we take it. Yeah.
Quite a slow turn there from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. I'm not sure. Almost an issue there. Not a good sign for the Swiss.
Big trip. One. Bit nuts here.
Just looked like a super slow turn, Shirley, on board for that jibe, so I'm not sure what went on there. Just a really long, slow, coasty turn, sailing into light air. You've got to be able to get onto the power quicker than that in those conditions, so massive loss there. You see the distance, 36 knots versus 25 as they're sailing across the course to accelerate. Huge lead here to the British.
To extend 20 more if we try. No pressure.
We just come back from there, so
no pressure.
That's a big ask from the cyclers. That's Nico Stahlberg giving it beans.
Nice pressure along the left front.
Those touchdowns so costly in these boats. You've got to go back to basically starting from scratch with your power settings, so pretty much from 10th gear back to first gear. So we'll just have a look at this guy here now. What a slow turn. You see the jib just floating across there, and exiting really low true wind angle for quite light air. So I think they just came out just too deep in that jibe. Came out expecting a little more breeze, perhaps.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shifting the course axis to 175.
INEOS Britannia have linked in lead on the back of that poor drive by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. It would be easy to say they're cruising, but they certainly will not be cruising. They want to sail it clean and fast they are.
We've seen some skids and some wobbles from the British as well over the last couple of weeks, so only just above that 20 knot sort of danger zone boat speed wise to keep the boat on the foils. Definitely some puff and lulls out there, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely light at this bottom half of the track. We're seeing sort of 7, 8 knots.
So where Alinghi Red Bull Racing came off the foils, the British will be heading up into that lighter air section. So snakes and ladders.
Well, the question is then, do we have another wrinkle in this race?
Let's do a nice thing.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing approached the bottom mark.
Nice. Yes, one is around them. Quite coming in fast, we just start trimming.
It's a substantial gap, but with light wind, who knows what could unfold with 2 legs to go.
Pressure coming down on the right. Stand by tack. One falls down. And turning it. Light on exit. 2, 1.
Definitely attacking pressure for Alinghi Red Bull Racing there, which is what you're trying to line up if you can when you're open course, is to try and tap where you're sailing into pressure and a good shift. So
No grip here.
We've seen, haven't we, over the last 2 weeks, that no lead ever seems quite big enough. You never feel safe. So if you're in the Swiss boat now, all you can do is just join up the bits of pressure, try and keep it as close as you can.
Mid-beat now.
On board the INEOS Britannia chase boat with coach Rob Wilson. Rob, the way you've started, confidence is everything, and a would be a nice confidence booster in this first semi-final for you guys.
Yeah, no, it was you know, it was a tight first beat. You know, the Swiss had the better of us, that's for sure. You know, they're a good opponent, and we just got into a bit of pressure at the top right of the course with that right turn, and you know, that leveled us up, and then they've done a real nice job from there on, and the Swiss are just trying to keep it tight.
Robbie, yeah, you guys were quite late at that start. Was there any issues on board there at all?
We're struggling a little bit on the time to kills today, to be honest. But hopefully we'll be able to sort it out during the break.
Well, with a good coaching team, mate, you should be all right. Good on you, mate.
We've got Zabby. Zabby's on the job. He'll be able to sort it out with the time to kills.
Nice, some solid men. Good work.
Yeah. Nice guys.
Xavi Fernandez is talking about one of the coaching staff.
So he's certainly no stranger to high-performance yachting, 49er legend, and been with INEOS Britannia for quite some time, doing a little bit of recon work with Lee McMillan over the last campaign or two, and certainly got a great eye for high-performance sailing.
Okay, well. Yep, I try. Little softer here.
INEOS Britannia lining up the top gate for the last time in their opening race of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. As you heard from Coach Rob Wilson, start wasn't perfect, but Early days, because it's a whole brand new regatta now. We start again. They start from 0. First to 5 race wins will head into the Louis Vuitton Cup final. Will it be INEOS Britannia?
2, 1, 4 down here. Wave 2, 1, 8. Turning. 2, 2, 1, 2, 5. Careful. Big wave here. Look at it. Out.
Full concentration on board in these manoeuvres.
Taking main.
There's some light air patches out there we're seeing on the wind map. So, I've seen it before.
Here.
Coming off the foils doesn't help you one way or the other.
There we go, nice.
So Alinghi Red Bull Racing with work to do just quickly before they round the mark, Pete.
Just down to the finish here.
INEOS Britannia impressive again.
This way.
Yeah, they've just kicked on from where they were, you know, through the round robins, and they've just gone from strength to strength, and now they've got confidence, and they look really strong and fast.
Yeah, fast is the key. It's the old story. Fastest boat wins the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. There are a number of fast boats out there. I'm sure Alinghi Red Bull Racing would like to be a bit faster today, but that's, as Glenn said, that early drive on the first downward leg cost them dearly. They are just the chaser now. Look where INEOS Britannia are in relation to where they are.
Plus 5. 2, 1. Up. And getting the pressure.
That's a lead and a half.
Nearly a kilometre and a half. That is a lot.
How could you not build confidence on these continuing good performances from the back end, of the round robin series into the semi-finals? And these are the ones that really do count now.
3, 2, 1. Main, turning. 2, 1, 1, 2. Hit it. 1.
All the teams will have made performance gains, but for INEOS Britannia, they've certainly added something downwind. They've extended on all the downwind leg.
Less than 30, stock of it.
Those touchdowns really costly there, and Alinghi Red Bull Racing just shows you one little wobble, a little touchdown, and it's game over.
Yes, but what we did see was American Magic come home. It was only a 7-second win. What we are seeing with the official challenger of record is all-out pace. And that should have everybody, including the defender, nervous. INEOS Britannia have won their first race in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals, and they have done it in style. And again, they have made a monster statement. We are quick.
Nice, brother. Good work, Dills.
Oh, good, lads.
Nice job, Shraki.
That was all over the place, wasn't it? Yeah. Stuck on that start, light and left, just couldn't get the tank. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. They're just quietly thinking about what they have to do next, because they've got one more to go. 2 races each of the pairs on the OPW Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. And you heard Ben Ansley say there, you know, just didn't get that start right, and that was has already been echoed, you might say, by Coach Rob Wilson. But gee whiz, I mean, when they get going, that's a scary boat.
Certainly sailing really nice, and I think the biggest gains I can see personally for the British team of what they've done over the last couple of weeks is just in the way they're sailing the boat. You know, they've obviously made some performance gains with equipment and settings, but to me it's just how well they're sailing their boat. And Alinghi Red Bull Racing are doing generally a really nice job of sailing their boat too. Just a couple of small unforced errors there during that race has turned into quite a large deficit in these conditions, so just need to keep pushing hard and they'll be able to be right there.
Still a lot to like about what Alinghi Red Bull Racing can do. But I go back to what you said. We've said it already. Same thing with American Magic. One more mistake, bang, someone's going to pounce and it's going to cost you dearly. And you cannot afford, really, with the first to 5, to make early mistakes, because that'll be costly right then and you'll be going home. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, well beaten by INEOS Britannia in their opening Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final. They won the start. That was about it, and they come home 2 minutes and 5 seconds behind. Ouch. Confirmation then of race one and what they call semi-final one, because INEOS Britannia were the top qualifier. It's a 2 minute and 5 second win to INEOS Britannia in a boat that seems to be getting faster and faster. So there you have it. In that semi-final, it's 1-0 INEOS Britannia. Let's go on board INEOS Britannia. Ben, congratulations. Man, you guys are sailing that boat beautifully. That boat is quick.
Yeah, we're going all right. Guys are doing a good job. We didn't have a greatest of starts. Wind just went a little bit light and left for us, so Swiss did a nice job getting a jump on us off the line. But then we dug in and got past nicely. So yeah, the boat's going well. The guys are doing a really good job trying to sail it well in this tricky, puffy, shifty conditions.
Yeah, mate, how much confidence are you guys building now? I mean, you're just rolling on. I mean, rolling on from the round robins.
Yeah, look, we keep saying it every day we're out here, don't we? It's a development game. It's about trying to keep getting the performance coming. Every day we're out here, we're learning more about how to sail this boat, how to set it up, and that's great to see. And the guys are doing a fantastic job, working incredibly hard. So we'll keep going.
Nice work, mate. 1-0.
Thanks.
Let's go on board Alinghi Red Bull Racing from Arno Sarafagis. Arno, that's another hard one to take, but let's look positive. Great start. Petro said you just got to get that second part right.
Yeah, I mean, really tricky condition, almost the hardest condition we sailed here. But I think INEOS did a really good job on the race and extend, and kind of didn't have much breeze behind. So yeah, I mean, it's not over. It's just only the first race. We keep on pushing and try to keep the good works up.
All right, mate. I know you've got to think about that last race, that I'll leave you alone. Okay, let's take a look at the key moment of the second race of the day in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals.
Yeah, this was the key moment actually before it all even began in the start. That final approach, INEOS Britannia were in quite a defensive position, waiting for Alinghi to attack, and then the wind dropped. And in the end, both boats were late. I mean, a good 2 boat lengths late. Alinghi Red Bull Racing slightly to windward and also with greater pace. From there, they could really defend up that first leg.
The Italians are up next, and Rossa Prada Pirelli with the team to beat in the first half of the round robin, but after a few faltering performances, saw them relegated to runners-up. The Italian high achievers are determined to reassert their dominant form over their semi-final opponents. Rossa Prada Pirelli, the team with the target on their back. They are unbeaten so far. No one's been able to get the W on them.
Obviously, when you're there and you play to win the round robin, you fight for that, no? And if you don't get that, you are upset.
Who will finish at the top of the round robin table?
Not winning the round robin was a little bit disappointing for sure. But having said that, I think if you want to learn something and if you want to face an hard moment, it's better to face it at that time.
This is actually quite a humbling loss to Rossa Prada Pirelli.
I think at this level, you need to get used to the fact that you're going to lose races sometimes. What is important is to win the race. I have the same confidence I had when I was leading the round robin. Nothing has changed. I was obviously upset for the loss, but the confidence is still the same. I mean, nothing has changed. We are still here to try to win the cup. That is our goal and is our focus every day. As a winning team.
Let's go racing again. American Magic, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli.
That opening defeat will have hurt this team. They have high expectations. But drivers Tom Slingsby and stand-in helm Lucas Calabresi must do better. They'll need to reset, find a new rhythm, a new confidence in each other, and quickly. Running performance falls to the experienced Campbell and Menninger, and power comes from a mix of elite rowers and cyclists. Head down and clipping in for this race is Hall, Molitor, and fresh legs, it's sprint canoeist Hornsby and Sedder.
The Italian team of Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli were initially the team to beat in the Louis Vuitton round robins and have consolidated that with a win on the board in the semis. On the steering wheels, Bruni and Spithill. In front of them in the flight control cockpits is Molinari and Tessé. Powering the sails for the Silver Flying Machine is the Italian power team that feeds the oil to make it all happen.
All right, let's have a look at the racetrack. The wind has got up a little bit round the edges. Looks good on that right-hand side. The Ghost Boat likes right-hand side at the top.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling is complete, and this race is live.
And what will we get in this race between Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli and American Magic? They were toe for toe, and it was only into the fifth leg, that Luna Rossa got the lead. Are we going to see a replay? They lead 1-0. It'll be port entry for American Magic, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Starboard at 2 minutes for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. Cannot wait for this one.
A bit more breeze on the race course than we saw previously, so
racing there by 1 second.
Conditions looking good.
No problem. Good angle, no lower.
Green light for American Magic.
So it's not a comfortable cross.
Starboard at 2 minutes will be Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. They'll be well in touch as they come steaming in. Both boats sitting well over 35 knots.
And board's going, guys.
Yeah, I like that. Probably staying above his line, guys.
The power here, boys.
Take another ladder run. Keep taking height, Lucas.
No problem. Here, guys, okay. Hey, lines square.
Yeah. A50 to the pin.
Hey, both above race committee.
Let's go in a position where we can threaten the jump.
Ready's 20, pin 5.
Okay, happy to go into a jibe here, Lucas.
Pin 15, pin 25.
You gonna jump here?
Yep.
Happy to jump.
Stand by.
2.
He does.
1.
Okay.
More down.
20 pin.
Luna Rossa happy to lead back. We heard the conversation.
Oh, we lost losing it here, boys.
Lost the rudder there, the Italians.
Plenty on out of here. Power up.
Big skid there. They are massively down speed, so on the back foot there, advantage to American Magic now. Try and roll them and put them right in the
A lot of power here, boys.
They're off the rig.
Lay line here.
By right turn.
Still quite a lot of time.
I think he can shut us.
No, negative. He cannot shut. He cannot shut.
Get me powered up here, guys, for this. Up on the line, okay?
Yeah, we have good separate right at this stage.
Full speed.
Yeah, I'm happy with this.
Hey, not far
So
off the field
time to
here.
kill there. You can see Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli early for the start line, so they will have to wash off a bit of speed, as do American Magic, but more time to kill for the Italians.
Luna Rossa really trying to keep the gauge, keep the distance between the two boats.
10 seconds to go to the start of the third race in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. It's going to be tight for both teams.
Fully racing.
But we are on. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, American Magic.
He's in a little high mode. We are good here. Happy to stay.
Hey, normal mode, boys.
Yeah, I'm going to be in a high group.
Both boats just
A
13
little
metres
pressure in
back
5.
from the start. After all
He's
that,
in a little high mode, so we have to do the same, I think.
Little squeeze from American Magic. They'll be trying to get Luna Rossa to tack off. If they can hold there all the way to the boundary, it'll be very difficult for American Magic exiting this tack.
Luna Rossa did really well just to hang in, to be patient.
Hey, stand by.
The big one here. He's tight. Heading in the zone. Yeah, he takes bearing, pressing a little bit.
Little speed build for American Magic, so the Italians not being able to quite hang on long enough and having to concede. It'll be a little bit of a holding pattern for the next 30 or 40 seconds, and the action will all happen as the boats come back on the opposite tack.
Quickly under chase there. Interesting start. They both had to wash up a little bit of speed, but then it was okay.
The American Magic did well to get Luna Rossa out of there. Now the long port as they head up the middle of the course, looking at the two boats. It looks to me as though Luna Rossa Paraparelli is a little bit lifted on the inside, so they're trying to gauge back up towards American Magic, but even start.
Higher.
This is smooth. Yeah, it's smooth, mate. This is really patchy. Yep.
Hey, 30 seconds. Very big right. I think try and get into it though.
He comes back. He's getting stronger with this riding.
Should be a really close intersection when Luna Rossa Paraparelli do tack onto starboard. They will have right of way as the boats intersect.
Luna Rossa looked headed. We heard Francesco Bruni complaining, struggling to get up to numbers.
One. Very slow out of this.
We're down in 2.
Italians right away, Yacht.
And turning.
Late tack there by American Magic, so
No problem, we are clear.
Luna Rossa punching through the dirty air and actually back into clear air there, so
Make sure if we need to do wind adjustment, we do it.
really not getting affected there.
So if he did go backward,
Offset is even. Hey, big righty, so no tack now.
Copy.
Yeah, there'll be no rush.
-3 will be right.
-2 is fine. Rolling up a bit here now.
Maybe we do have an opportunity here.
At the moment, we're just we're going to go one and in right.
I think so. Yes, you judge it. We have an opportunity for 2 tacks.
Hey, stand by. 2, 1.
He tacks. Happy, just we're going to go to a right-hand turn. Happy.
Held out of this.
Slowly. Relifted. Next second maneuver is key.
Tom Slingsby happy on American Magic just to take the lift, go as far as he can.
Hey, good pressure on about 10.
American Magic there opting to go all the way to the boundary to try and make the right-hand turn at the top of the course, so to try and save one manoeuvre in these tricky light conditions. So
mark on your bow.
have they done what they need to do to take an advantage at the top?
24 left, okay? Yeah, we're going to go for a right-hand turn. Rolling up just a little bit. We've made a nice gain here.
American Magic, in the words of Tom Slingsby at the top gate for the first time, they have made a nice gain here. How big the gain will be, you'll see very quickly on the bottom left of your screen. And they take what they say the right turn and head downward for the first time in this third semi-final of the day, the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals here in Barcelona. And around goes Luna Rossa Paraparelli. 10 seconds.
Much better rounding by American Magic. Little tiny touchdown there for the Italian team, but American Magic potentially sailing into some nice breeze down there. So shift-wise, though, you'd say the Italians are actually in nice shape. So it'll be interesting to see how they intersect here in about 45 seconds' time.
In 3, 2, 1, board.
don't hear much on American Magic from Luca Calabrese. I mean, he's fully locked in, isn't he, to performance? And it puts a lot of the heavy lifting on Tom Slingsby in terms of both performance and decision making.
This is still pretty far right, 190.
Nothing in this race really at all at the moment. And really cool heads there from Tom Slingsby. Lucas Calabrese doing a great job, as are the cyclists there. Decision time now of what they do strategically.
Very patchy, keep your eyes open. Yeah, we've got decent pressure. Looks like it will get lighter.
Hard in this race here.
This is a very good ride with pressure, okay?
It's a good time to swap.
Maybe go a tiny bit lower here.
Yeah,
just follow the trap, Keko.
Yeah, in fact, all the numbers are wrong, so we have to just go on trap today.
A little softer down the bottom here.
Coming up a bit. More pressure to our windward side.
With the ghost boat here, showing slight gain with American Magic sailing into that green shaded area, which is more pressure. That's real-time pressure that the LiDAR provided by Cap Gemini is showing us.
We're close to one end, but it's still soft down here.
That's what the sailors will be looking at on the water. The darker patches is what you're wanting to see. Sailing into more pressure, looking out the front of the boat is what you're sailing into. You see the difference in angle there, which is what the ghost boat shows, and American Magic getting good tow away there and good breeze. So Rossa having to dig their way back into this.
They come back, take a look on the software. Saying that he's not going to lay, so ideally
It's lighter at this bottom half of the track. Both boats saying between 7 and 8 knots, right in the danger zone.
Heading towards that bottom mark, complete league number 2. Pete, you love angles. What do you make of the angles today?
I like the way American Magic have sailed this downwind. By taking the right-hand gate, it just put them in phase immediately for this second downwind leg, and they're going to just be ahead at the bottom mark gate. The other thing I can see is a slightly bigger jib on Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli than the race before.
A little build here.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that as we see American Magic.
Big pressure move here for the American team.
very little grip here.
They have to execute this well.
They like what you see on the left-hand side of the track.
Keep the boat on the foils, guys.
American Magic getting themselves around that bottom mark. Are they staying on the foils?
Oh, they're marginal. I think they're off the foils, the Americans.
No, not again. They are off the foils. Confirmation. Patrick's down.
Hey, reset.
And watch Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli pounce. And pounce they will.
Nice build now.
Anything for build? -3.
Yep.
High pressure manoeuvre there for the American team. Just not being able to thread the eye of the needle. That jibe, they just have to go
pressure this way. I just think go all the way here. It's a great puff over here.
But back on the foils again now, so a quick rebuild, but a lead change advantage now to the Italian team of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
They were sailing into less and less pressure right at those turning marks. And it's a different mindset, isn't it? Between 8 knots and 6 knots.
Nice.
9 seconds here. And 1, 3, 2.
So,
just fell out of the taxi.
Slight lead change again. USA back in front.
Massive lull for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli here. You can see them sailing into that light patch of breeze, that lighter blue area is less breeze. So
new pressure coming in 10.
American Magic will get into that new pressure about the same time. So this race is still well and truly alive.
Back and forth at the start of leg number 3.
So the Americans having to give way here and duck Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
And angle there. Nice.
One of the best sights in America's Cup racing. Crosses, close-up crosses. Love it.
Back into the wind here. -1 here.
Let's go on board American Magic's chase boat with coach Tom Burnham. Well, it's going to be one of those days, Tom.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's heart-stopping over here, let's say. But it's an interesting day, that's for sure. Wanted to see some close racing, and here we go.
Well, what was the comms coming off the boat about that rounding at the bottom mark?
Well, obviously just got a little bit light down there at the bottom, and the lay line was a bit thin, so just made it hard there. So not great, but we're still in this thing, and we're still got a chance here. Long race to go.
Was that the message after race one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the process, the way the guys sailed the tactically and stuff in that first race was really good, and missed a couple of opportunities in execution, but didn't want to change too much in terms of how we were approaching the racing, that's for sure.
Okay, long way to go. Thanks for your time.
He's on board.
Thank you, guys.
Section 25.
Copy.
The 188. Speed is building.
How'd you like to
Having a look at the ghost boat prediction here.
I think he's going to cross.
Almost bow.
I'm
Again,
entirely sure about that.
ghost boat prediction. So
very close.
On the wind.
the right-of-way boat now. American Magic. Decision time for Lynn Rossa Prada Pirelli to decide what they want to do here.
Yeah, he's got a nice shift there.
Got a stacking at the moment.
He preps.
I will. It's a little fast mode here. On him.
185.
Got almost
Quite
one
a big
right.
duck there for Lynn Rossa Prada Pirelli. Almost across the bow.
Good pressure this way.
The Italian's not wanting to risk getting a penalty at this stage of the
I
race.
don't think it's worth the tax at the moment.
Margins are way too fine at this point in the regatta to be getting a penalty mid-race.
Header.
Better pressure on about 10-15 it looks like.
Yeah, I'm going to chase zero now with Peter Lester. Peter, this one's all over the place. This is nothing in this one at the moment.
It's an absolute cracker, and this will come down to one error by one boat that'll be the winning of this. We've had two dips on this second upwind, and again, the setup for top mark approach, the last third of the second wind would be crucial, whoever gets around this top mark gate first.
Very good pressure. Back here. Happy for a fast mode here. See that? Stay flat on me. That's good.
Yeah, stay flat.
Go normal from here.
It looks like a little right-hand wind to the Italian team, so
okay, we have
that's what they'll be hoping for. A little right shift of that breeze, and the American Magic team here, I feel, will be sailing into potentially a little right-hand area, so they won't want that.
I don't think he's laying, so he's going to go left gate.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shortening the course to 1.35 nautical miles.
Get the speed up here, boys. We're a bit slow.
You know what I mean, Jimmy? He's not laying, so... Big pressure out the right at the moment. Yeah, but I think we go left gate, early drive. Okay. Yeah, happy with that.
Rossa Prada Pirelli 1-0 up on American Magic and leading them at the halfway point in this third semi-final of the day. The Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals in Barcelona.
Happy to go. And Farah.
Tag for American Magic to line themselves up.
Yeah, we've got to pick some shifts down this run. I really want to jive pretty early, so
maybe be mindful of the potential, guys.
American Magic now. Early jive, you heard the call.
Clear, jive.
Yeah, copy. Let's go here as well. Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
So American Magic will sail back through a little bit of dirty air from the last upwind leg, and Luna Rossa sailing down, hopefully for them lining up those green patches, the dot to dot, if you like, of what you're trying to string together on the downwind for best performance. Those green patches indicating more wind.
We're loving the wind field now.
Happiness. Just slight windward.
That's good.
That's good.
Coming up a bit.
Big push there from the Cyclors. Big camber changes out of these manoeuvres, so
that's when I want to edge, always in speed.
pretty even boat speeds here.
That's going to be pressure, that's all.
Yeah, Tom, you'll get more soon. You want to go, keep going straight or jive?
I'm thinking straight for the pressure.
Yeah.
From what we can see from the wattage on Luna Rossa, the cyclists just all kind of go at a steady pace, but on Luna Rossa they rotate the sprinter, so there's always one guy all out 1,000 watts, and they they share that responsibility. So each team's got their own way of doing it. That might be him. He looks...
Just watch the change
Yeah.
of course.
Looks like he's having a great time, doesn't it?
Not having a good day out.
Working hard there. You can see there's not much airflow in there. Effectively zero airflow in those cockpits, which is what they're designed to do for aerodynamic purposes. So zero airflow in a hot cockpit, you are going to sweat. Massive push there in the manoeuvres. Absolutely flat out there, Madison Molitor.
Max on the runway was 205.
400 watts, where there's 4 Cyclors on each boat.
You're going to have to follow
Took a
in
slice of toast there, no problems with your toaster. Those guys powering a small house potentially.
Okay. Need some trav, boys. Anytime, boys. Anytime, Jimmy.
It's getting slow here.
So pressure manoeuvre now for Luna Rossa.
And turning.
Very light air here.
Power up out of this, guys.
You can hear the angst in Jimmy's voice.
Full power out
Jimmy
of this.
Spithill.
Jimmy waited a little bit longer, just making sure they were going to lay.
We are okay.
Luna Rossa right of rally at bottom gate. This will complete leg number 4.
This is a light wind.
It was 20 seconds at the top gate.
Okay,
Their lead on
slowly coming
American
up.
Magic.
All good, guys. Safe.
Might suspect that American Magic have picked up a bit of time on this downward leg. We'll check it in a moment. They get around that gate. You just keep your eye on the bottom left. The delta, as they say, on USA, the clock ticking over. 20 seconds at the top. What is it at the bottom?
Guys, so
well, they've picked up some time.
I think go to this pressure now.
Picked up 6 seconds.
Just go on your best
Nice
time.
downwind.
It looks like 5 seconds
The Americans there. They really need to keep the foot on the gas here and keep it tight.
Very good wind here. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shortening the leg to 1.2 nautical miles and shifting the course axis to 190.
Little press, a little faster. That's good. It is up.
What a dynamic day today compared to some of the other days we've seen in the same breeze direction.
We're no longer in the height of summer. It's definitely changing season here.
There is one on the bow.
Got a light spot to go through here. There's good VMG, guys. Good VMG.
Coming into a light patch.
Really good pressure on the right here. Just on our side.
Slipping along.
He's always in less pressure. I think if they come early, we nail
Dynamic
them.
duo there of Francesco Bruni, Jimmy
Right.
Spithill.
Keep it good. We're stretching a lot here.
On the handlebars
He's
there,
in
and
less pressure.
Francesco running the tactical software, keeping his eyes on the opponents, just seeing what mode they're sailing out the window.
They both feels good now.
Guys.
Communication's absolutely key for accuracy.
Nice little faster build.
The Italian team worked a lot on communication between all of them, the tone, the language.
Think there's very pressure in front.
No, we've got to go.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1, more.
Really big push coming up for both Cyclors on both boats here.
Pressure here.
Big gear changes.
I think we just get to a nice target and then we go. Get up on numbers.
Stand by, guys. Going in 3, 2, 1, more down.
Luna Rossa hugging that right-hand side of the track. I think they're really nervous of what's going on in the middle. Big holes.
I think we've got to try and get the jib in a little bit earlier before head to wind. Bit of dragging it through. Doesn't work, Jimmy. Okay, copy. Right patch here. Honey puff.
Okay, I think we go straight to... hard to call it. It's just stacked, huh? We could go straight to 1 and in here. What do you think?
Pressure looks a bit ordinary on the left. I stand by.
No.
2, 1. Low turn.
So So very, very dynamic still there. The Italians not wanting to let American Magic disappear over to that side of the race course on their own. American Magic doing all they can to stay in touch here. Inside the shifts well.
2, 1, more done. Press. Okay, fast mount to his left gate. Then we go early drive.
The Americans not going away in this race.
We could go right gate as well because he's going to do the right gate. No.
Still out of
hard
balance
rates there of the Italians.
now.
All absolutely on the red line. Enrico Voltolini, 960 watts as a peak. So,
and 2, 1.
He's a machine, Enrico Voltolini.
One more leg to go in this third race of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals on a Saturday in Barcelona. Beautiful conditions, and it's Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli leading American Magic in the last race of the day for these two teams. Luna Rossa and Prada Pirelli leading 1-0 after a 7-second win in the opening race of the day. They'll be followed around by American Magic.
I'm really impressed with how American Magic have stayed close to Luna Rossa in this race, having to sail through a little bit of dirty air at times and not tacking exactly where they want, and they are still well within reach here. So high pressure manoeuvres coming up.
Yeah, copy. Happy to go when you're happy. Put it down here.
Stand by, guys. Rolling 3.
Maneuver coming up. Watch the heart rates.
1.
Begin to watch.
Little soft spot.
Rather them than me.
On a power up here.
Wherever you're watching around the world, whatever size screen, it's still impressive when you see the cyclers doing their thing.
Just starting to feel something.
Okay. From here, I think we match if he jives.
Hey, us getting at the edge of this path, trying to build on this.
I'm quite sure that if he jives, we have to match.
Hey, really starting the sails here. It's very marginal.
Yeah, keep an eye on the BMGs as possible. Just get into that pressure on the other side.
Better pressure now.
Definite gains early on there to American Magic, so they're going to get the meat of it.
3, 2,
Tom Slingsby decided to jive back through the face of that pressure, so we'd expect to see the Italians match. But if American Magic can jibe back across the face of this next breeze,
work hard on the bikes, boys. Do everything you got this run.
The Italians will be on the back foot, so gains there to American Magic. Decision time for Luna Rossa whether they match or not on the jibe back.
No issue with him.
Final leg here, only a few seconds between them.
Got a match here, obviously. Getting long, well, it's long the other way. This is the finish, right?
Edge of seat finish between Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli and American Magic, almost identical to the last race they did.
Bye, I think pretty soon.
Bye. Overtaking lanes doing that, so happy to go.
Go board.
3, 2,
let's go, boys.
1.
He hasn't jived, okay?
He's due. He's due. He's out.
He's behind us to windward, so keep the speed.
Luna Rossa just needing to put their elbows out here. Let anything strange happen.
Classic finish coming up in race 3 of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. And it will be another race win to Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli. When they cross that line,
and board's down.
They will go 2-0 against American Magic in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. They hung tough and did the job. Just close in behind them, American Magic. It was 7 seconds in the first race. It'll be a little more in the second race, but not by much. 18 seconds, but it feels a whole lot closer All the work done today will have to be done again tomorrow for American Magic. They're 0-2. They are 2-0. An advantage, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Wow, if there's two boats that are getting you on the edge of your seat and your heart rate up and not being a Cyclor, it's these two, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli and American Magic. But it's Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli with the perfect score today. 2 wins from 2 over American Magic. And as you'll see on the scoreboard, it'll be quite simple. Green is good, red, nah, that's not good enough. Let's go on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli now and have a chat to Jimmy Spittle. Congratulations, mate. Another beautiful race and well done for holding out the Americans.
Yeah, it was a much better race. We got off the line well, that one. But, man, just absolutely brutal for the boys on the bikes. It was very, very patchy, the breeze, and we had to go into a pretty defensive mode on that last run.
Quite tricky, Jimmy, to pick a jib for that race. The breeze probably not kicking quite as much as possibly what some of the forecasts showed, but great job. What are your thoughts for down the track against the Americans?
Yeah, look, full credit to Hamish Wilcox there. You know, obviously the J2 felt really nice in that first one, but again, made a great call, and the 1.5 was definitely the jib. Yeah, well, look, we've just got to keep chipping away, keep taking the lessons. This is going to be a close semi, so we've just got to one step at a time and just chipping away.
Nice job, Jimmy. Thanks for your time. Let's jump across to Patriot, and welcome to the America's Cup, Lucas Calabrese. How was that?
Obviously not the result we want for day one, but we're right in there, you know. Shows that Tom can execute really good starts, and the guys in the back are doing a great job, so just gotta stay in it and keep chipping.
Just quickly, what was the issue at the routing at the bottom gate in leg 2?
You know, it's super tricky conditions. The breeze just got really light, and we just couldn't lay in. Today, I feel like the luck wasn't on our side, but hopefully we'll change that tomorrow.
You're getting close, mate. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, let's take a look at the key moment from this race.
Well, this was the key moment of tight racing, wasn't it? I mean, less of a key moment, more of an example of great racing. Leg 3 of this race really showed how tightly matched these boats are when they're both sailed at their very best. Each team had a turn at being just crossing ahead. First it was Italy coming in from the right, and then it was America. What a tussle. Got a feeling this is going to go and go, isn't it?
Sagrada Familia, centre point of Barcelona. Just a quick look at one page of our immediate graphics.
Yeah, real similar numbers there for both teams, and as we saw, only 18 seconds in it at the end.
Coming up is INEOS Britannia and Alinghi Red Bull Racing, who finished the run Boris Robin Series with 3 wins, but clinching the last semi-final spot. But a target on their back is highest-ranked challenger. INEOS Britannia chose the Swiss team to be their semi-final opponent. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, they will get the win and go to 2 valuable points.
Nice one, guys. Really good job.
For the team to go through the Challenger Series and go to the semi-final was a really good achievement and a first step.
What an amazing effort from the whole team. They'd be absolutely stoked with that.
The team did a really good job to keep on pushing to make the cut, and now it's a new start, and we can redevelop the strategy to go and face the semi, and then the next goal is to enter the Louis Vuitton final.
INEOS Britannia, they will get to choose who they sail in the semi-final.
We'd like to race Arno and Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
If we want to win this thing, we need to learn from the best, and I think they are the best one to get us ready to go through the semi and to the final. INEOS is, for me, the benchmark team in the Challenger.
Sailing against INEOS Britannia, I think it will be a strong match. Like we saw, they improve a lot during the round robin. So I think can't wait to sail against them, and for sure they are strong.
Game on between INEOS Britannia and Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
What the team at INEOS did in terms of finding boat speed and consistently around the race course is really interesting, and will be the best team to learn from.
Looking at it, I think INEOS has picked up their game from what we saw earlier in the regatta.
It hasn't been really easy because we didn't start the way we wanted the first round robin.
Oh, they've sailed straight into the gas of American Magic.
We didn't manage any good starts, so yeah, the races was off. We were not able to catch up.
I think we made some simple mistake in this round robin that we knew to fix, and the team stayed really together and really looked forward.
And it is a go. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, Orient Express Racing, a monster matchup to start the week.
The first race of the second round robin against Orient Express was a good relief for us on board, but as well I think it was a good reward for the whole team.
What a huge confidence booster for this team.
The feeling of winning the first point was so nice. Like we knew that we were back in the game, and that we can fight for our place. So yeah, it was a bit of a relief, and just in mind, like trying to keep pushing and just trying to develop the speed of the boat.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing doing everything they can to put the elbows out.
The goal is to go every day, step by step, and make sure we are doing everything that we can. It's not going to be easy. I think we have the best team around us to make that happen, and then we're just going to go out there, enjoy and fight every second.
Final semi-final of the day, INEOS Britannia, Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
With a point already on the scoreboard, Sir Ben Ainsley will be determined to end day one of the semis with a clean sweep. The sport's most successful Olympic sailor appears to be gaining confidence in his co-driver, the impressive Olympic gold medalist Dylan Fletcher. But keeping the boat on pace, it's trimmers Lee McMillan and Bleden Maughan, and sporting a bank of power built on the might of British rowing. All fresh for this battle is Leask, Todd Hunter, and sailing endurance machines Hunter and Parkinson.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing are one step closer to their America's Cup dream with a spot in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals, but they'll need to raise their game after that first semi-defeat against the challenger of record. Cup rookies Sarafagis and Bachelin are on the helm, Metro and Rollas are on the trim and providing the power, Delaz, Jacot, Cher and Tunic.
So getting ready for a race, but we can tell you that the race management have told us they have failed the wind limit. They have failed the wind limit, so there is now a official start of local time at 4:18 p.m. That's 4:18. You can see the clock on the top left of your screen, however big that is. We're 7:54 and counting to a start for the final Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final of day number one, which has seen Luna Rossa take a 2-0 lead against the Alinghi Red Bull Racing, and INEOS Britannia a 1-0 lead at this point against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Did I get that right? No, I got confused, didn't I? It doesn't really.
So many teams.
American Magic are trailing, love to, and INEOS GBR have a 1-0 lead on Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Right, time to wake up. You think the most impressive thing as we start thinking about this race that will unfold, a 2-minute and 5-second win. 2 minutes and 5-second win after losing the start to INEOS Britannia.
This race, though, Stephen, could look a whole lot different. The wind has just, the edge has come off the breeze. It is all wafty and light. It could be a different game.
Yeah, slightly different to potentially what the forecast had earlier in the day of a building breeze, and the slightly cooler air temperature that we've had this morning actually allowed that morning drainage air to sort of hang around a bit longer than it possibly would have if it was warmer. So whether that slightly cooler air today has affected the breeze this afternoon, we'll wait and see, but hopefully we can get some racing in.
Let's go onto the water with Peter Lester. Peter, give us your on-water thoughts about the weather.
starting to look light. You know, as we get later into the afternoon, it's looking flaky. I'm hopeful. The sea stakes up a bit as well, and that doesn't help in terms of, you know, the overall look. But this one will be really tricky.
Before we get into this race, Pete, I just want to come back to the Luna Rossa performance. What did you make of it? Didn't get your thoughts on that one.
I thought it was significant. They had a slightly bigger jib on, and look, I look at the first 3 races. What's significant is the number of lead changes. Every race we've had a lead change, and you can't ask for anything better than that in the semi-finals for the challengers.
Well, just a reminder, we're looking for a wind limit above 6.5 knots in a 30-second average at both the marks at the top of the course and the marks at the bottom. So it's
we're hanging, right? We're hanging.
We are so close to it all happening. Both boats really trying to get a read of the course.
Pressure coming back here.
Both teams on their big front sails, the J1 jibs, which are the maximum size. So the lighter the breeze, the more sail area you need to keep the boats at max performance and keep the boat on their foils. So the windier it gets, the more you want to reduce that sail area to keep reducing drag as you have more power from the wind.
They're going to go forward down here. Very light here. Diving. 2, 1, mate. Heading.
It's not only just the sail area that's important, it's how big a shape range you can get these sails through. So the advantage of the twin skin mainsail is you do get to separate the high and low pressure side of the sail, and we see both teams there struggling to keep the boat on the foils. So really marginal conditions there. Only 5.5 knots at the bottom of the course around the start, so 8.5 knots at the top. So still puffy and shifty. Very difficult conditions there.
We'll get indication shortly from race management whether we are good for a go. Mel from race management normally pops up at the 3-minute mark to say we are clear, everything, the wind limit is good. This is sort of fingernail, hanging on by the fingernails, this one at the moment.
It is, and if we do pass the wind limit, Alinghi Red Bull Racing are actually off the foils there and not able to tow up. So they need to accelerate and get up onto the foils here, which is sailing into a little bit of pressure. They need to take off there, otherwise they could potentially be late for the entry. They have to spike off no later than 3 minutes, but no time there to hook the chase boat on. So just getting the boat up on the foils, really important to keep on the foils here. We'll be interested to see what Mel has to say about the wind limit there. Very dynamic conditions here at the moment in Barcelona.
Start line, we do it,
Getting 30.
This is the race committee. We've now passed the wind test, and this race is live.
All I'm going to say is, oh, this start could be a shaky one. Wait and see. Alinghi Red Bull Racing had a ripper of a start last time out, but the wind was better.
And Alinghi Red Bull Racing look like they've come off the foils here.
No,
but
no.
They need to tack.
They're off the foil.
They need to tack here and make sure they're within the boundary. Otherwise they will get a boundary penalty, which they do not need. So they've got a big job now to try and re-accelerate. The boat does not want to accelerate forward here in these light conditions when you spin it that hard in displacement mode. So Alinghi
INEOS Britannia well late into the
It might be too late
gate.
for that. Too late, past 210.
So Alinghi Red Bull Racing asking for a 15-minute delay, but I feel they may have pulled their card too
Switzerland,
late.
unfortunately, the delay card needs to be requested before the warning signal.
So you heard there from Mel Roberts. Penalty.
This is the umpires. Boundary penalty Switzerland. Boundary penalty Switzerland.
So the Swiss team absolutely needing to accelerate here. Very, very light where they are, so they will need to accelerate, get the boat foiling, enter, and then try and make the start. Pressure now on the British to keep on the foils. So you see Alinghi there out of bounds with a penalty. The British now time on distance, so the Swiss very much on the back foot. They need to dig the boat out of the water here. Looks like they're accelerating. Just about on the foils, so they need a little puff here.
They're up with 60 seconds to go and aiming towards the start line. Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Could you ask for anything more? But they have the penalty.
Penalty, failed entry Switzerland.
INEOS Britannia off the foils.
Oh, this is all on. So the Swiss still have to enter and clear their penalty. So penalty will be a get behind penalty. So they still have to be behind the British at the start. So they've got to time their run now to make sure they're behind, watch the penalty, and then stay in the race.
INEOS Britannia up to pace.
So Alinghi Rebel Racing will need to tack and dip, watch their penalty.
Big push, not over.
We are finally racing in the last Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final of the day.
British rolling immediately into attack there. Just keeping their boat on the foils. Deep cambers in their sails, so max power there on INEOS Britannia, doing a nice job.
Good pressure here.
Alinghi Rebel Racing needing to wash off that penalty. Not sure how far they've got to go with that penalty, but they should be fairly close.
Copy. They continue, they cack. I think we cack on them. Yeah.
Bottom.
3, 2, 1,
Penalties cleared. Penalties cleared.
2, 1. Hold down, no rush, no rush.
Push out the back.
So as we've seen in the past, very, very difficult to keep the boats on the foils here.
Hey, where's the pressure,
A lot of pressure on both teams to stay foiling.
21 to battery.
Alinghi Rebel Racing has a huge amount of work ahead of them here in this race so early on, coming off the foils in that pre-start, just getting them on the back foot.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shifting the course axis to 200.
Alright, big foot, guys. Holding gear, 19 knots. Slowly coming back up.
Let's go to Chaser, 0. Peter Lester, what do you make of that?
Well, it's all about who can keep foiling, and look at the two boats, and Alinghi Red Bull Racing look to have, you know, the harder time keeping the boat up all the time. INEOS looks just a little bit more comfortable. They can throw the boat round. The boat looks just a little bit more forgiving.
Makes sense. There is the same in front. Let's get to the speed.
Every manoeuvre high risk. You've really got to save it for maximum wind pressure. You've been so smooth in execution.
Nice hit in 2. Getting close here. Okay. Stand by here. Yep, all good. 2, 5, forward down. 3, 2, 1, 8. Landing. 1, 2, 1. Going forward. Nice little increase in 2.
Nice manoeuvre there on INEOS Britannia. Beautiful pitch control, ride height control in that manoeuvre. So to keep the boat, boat speed above 26 knots, ideally entering those manoeuvres if they can.
Yeah, eventually one in. There'll be recovery, tempo. Going left. It'd be nice to lay, but I guess we've got to make a decision early.
On board INEOS Britannia.
Hey, look,
the green
he's going
wheel
right, isn't he?
indicating that Ben Ainsley
let's
is
keep getting some pace on and go
on
right
the helm
turn.
at the moment. Dylan Fletcher, course management.
Good speed here, no slower, boys.
Tactics.
10 and 15.
So it may have looked like a bit of a cluster, the start of this final race of the day, but it's turned out okay, at least for INEOS Britannia at this particular point of the race. They've completed one leg of 6 in conditions that are challenging both teams. And they will take the left-hand mark, as you see, right for them.
I will, just a sec.
And get around it. They head on the first downward leg of the 4th race of these Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. The road to the challenge for the old mug gets just a little bit closer, but you've got to win the Louis Vuitton Cup first and foremost.
INEOS Britannia did so well in that manoeuvre. It looked quite dodgy in the middle. They were down to 20 knots, but just managed to power up and accelerate. Keep flying. Nice work.
Okay. Stand by.
Big pressure on Alinghi. Red Bull Racing to stay on the foils here because they need to keep in touch. It's puffy, shifty, light air day as it is at the moment, so they do execute, but a big deficit to make up to the British, who have been able to keep their boat on the foils since the pre-start.
Alinghi, Red Bull Racing now in catch-up mode. I don't think they have that button on their boat, but that's what it's all about. Got to catch up now, and we know how quick INEOS has been. They know how quick INEOS is after that 2-minute and 5-second loss in their opening race of the day.
Nice little puff of breeze there at the top. You can see on the water there and how quickly the boat accelerated. So really important for the crew on board to identify those puffs and make sure that you're manoeuvring and staying in those and joining all those dots together. Keep the boat on its foils and going fast.
Let's go to chase 0. Peter Lester, what's the wind doing in sort of that second half of the course?
Top of the course looks a little bit, you know, a little bit steadier, a little bit more predictable. That's the bottom of the course that looks really, really funky, and that's the bit that INEOS will need to navigate first. But the INEOS boat just looks a little bit easier to sail, and it keeps foiling at quite a low speed. As I just look out the window, Alinghi Red Bull Racing did a jibe and they did a big sideways skid. They saved it. They keep the boat on the foils.
It's looking nice along this side at the moment. Little past it? Yeah, a little past it. Yeah.
Really big foil ventilation there, as Peter said, and popped back up again. They just were lucky that they had enough boat speed. Alinghi Red Bull Racing, as we're watching INEOS Britannia, have to execute well. See the depth of the mainsail there, absolutely as deep as you can get it for max power. Sailing the boat nicely.
Bias at the moment here, but I'm not sure. Let's go for our gas. Yeah, I think let's go right turn here.
INEOS Britannia looks comfortable. Cyclors are doing a lot of work in conditions that are going up and down like a yo-yo, but they will complete the second leg and head upwind on the 3rd of 6 in this 4th Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final.
2, 1. Report down here. 2, 1. Lead. Turning. Keep my well. But light initially and then pressure back. Yeah, push out a bit.
Nice solid manoeuvre there by the British team.
Yeah, it's going to forward.
It's going to keep executing these light air manoeuvres well. Certainly made some improvements in their light air tacking ability over the past couple of weeks.
Recover. Thinking, mate. Pressing for the forward here. All right.
India will be hoping to lay this bottom gate in one and not have to do another manoeuvre if they can avoid it. Very, very marginal conditions at the bottom of the course.
Everything for this left back. Pressure coming back. Next one is a roundup. Yes. Player on that in 5.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming in to complete the second leg. It was 1 minute 18 seconds at the top gate. And just a tad over that at the bottom. 1 minute 22 seconds. Long way to go. It's a rough old day for Alinghi Red Bull Racing in boat 1.
To the right.
Little high mode for the breeze, if we can.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shifting the course axis to 210.
1. Pressure now.
Entering the zone now.
5, 2, 1.
Still got a few shifts coming down the course here, and race committee just realigning the course for the shifty breeze to make sure it's dead into the wind, which is a nice true even course for both teams.
One of us.
You see the big right-hand shift there of the British, that big wind, so picking some really nice lanes on this upwind. INEOS Britannia and the coaching team will be happy that the guys are sailing with their eyeballs open.
Get on a little righty.
It looks like with the right breeze, an increase in pressure, it's just sort of wafted in. They've now got between 8 and 10 knots across the course.
Happy to adding a breeze in 5.
The foil trimmers on INEOS Britannia actually at the back of the boat, which is a different philosophy to what the other teams have got with their Cyclors at the back. So both foil trimmers there. Lee McMillan,
Reasonably square at the top here, it's not a huge amount in it. Yeah, just
over the side of the boat, plus all their screens and actually controlling
Actually lighter at the top.
the flight of the boat.
Hey, stand by.
Really important job to do
Looking
well.
at the foil a lot.
Yeah, push it. 3, 2, 1, mate. Coming. 2, 1.
Lee McMillan now taking over flight control.
Coming for the windward.
Led them on over the side, so you get a really good view from where they're sitting. That's probably why they've put their trimmers in those positions.
Drive here, Ben. Yep, sounds good.
Fantastic view of foil going through the water surface, plus all their instrumentation.
We are at the halfway mark in the last Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final of the day. Day number 1. Remember, the first boat to 5 race wins will head into the Louis Vuitton Cup final. INEOS Britannia are on course to 2, but it's only halfway.
One trap. All the way. Okay, anytime. Stand by. 2, 1, put down. 2, 1.
Lovely shot of the breeze there. We don't need the wind field to see it there. A lot more pressure at the top end of the track.
They're pushing now, let's go. Hey. Head. Cut. Long way this way. Tempo. That's right, lads. Huge ride here, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, one and in at the moment. Kind of half head.
Let's go for this tag then.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing powering their way to the top gate to complete the halfway mark and their second Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final. But they've got a lot of catching up to do. 1 minute and 20, it was 1:21 at the bottom.
Nice one, 120.
Nice tack
on the right
bear away there for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Fantastic shot of their foils. So downwind there, 37 knots in only about 7 or 8 knots of breeze, which is they're getting downwind. British still having to execute every manoeuvre really well there. In these lighter conditions, the foils not going as fast through the water as they are when the boats are going quicker in big breeze, so having to work a little harder, a little bit more flat down, so a little bit like an aeroplane wing with a slow-flying aircraft where you put the flaps down.
Oh, I mean,
Lee McMillan
right at the moment.
Looking over the side there, watching the ride height, looking at his camera, looking at the spray rails. You see the orange mark there as a ride height guide for him, plus the tips. Very important job for all the teams.
INEOS Britannia steaming into the bottom gate to complete their fourth leg. They won't be mucking around. 2 legs to go. They want that solid advantage in the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. They come in at pace, coming in hot.
Stand by here, Leroy. And forward. 2, 1, made. Quite well. Quite go wide.
That choreography between both foil trimmers, super important. Both independently controlling their foils, plus potentially the pitch trim of the boat. Really, really important there to get right.
Nice pressure into long tempo here.
On board the chase boat for INEOS Britannia coach Rob Wilson. Should we forget about the start and talk about the race?
Good pressure this way.
Yeah, that sounds good. Like it was a real tricky start. We were super close coming off the foils, but managed to just keep up. Alinghi obviously came off, which gave him the penalty that gave us a nice buffer.
One thing that's noticeable as coming through these last group of races at the end of the round robins until today as well is your ability to get yourself out of trouble quickly and how well the boat is flying in light air.
Yeah, no, we're really pleased with the performance, and I think that comes a lot down to all the hard work the shore team are doing and the guys in the performance team. So it's a massive credit to them to push it forward like they have.
All right, thanks, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing now completed 4 legs, but they've lost a lot of time on that downwind leg. 2 to go for the Swiss challenger.
Ryan Metro and Nicola Rula, flight control for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Their oppos, Lee McMillan, Glenn Mont, sort of doing the same job on Alinghi Red Bull Racing, flying the boat. They're actually in the flight positions well forward on the boat. And Nicola there concentrating hard on flying the boat accurately. The more accurately as a foil trimmer you fly the boat, the better the performance. So absolutely super critical job, as is steering and trimming the sails. It's a real juggle, 3D sailing.
Pressure back in 5.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, lengthening the leg to 1.4 nautical miles.
Going back to the right, yep. Out on the ice.
That's always a good sign, making the course longer.
Might just be a little higher mode here. Copy, taking mate. Neutral straight in. But I have a bit in the bag in case we go right. Yeah, recover that tempo.
Port helmsman Dylan Fletcher. I mean, the synchronicity between this team, the transition over the last couple of weeks has really been off the scale, and particularly for Dylan Fletcher, Cup rookie, really taking it on.
Every race is just absolutely golden at the moment for Dylan, as it is for the whole team.
INEOS Britannia complete the last upwind leg and they turn for home. They turn for home with a potential 2-0 lead on Alinghi Red Bull Racing, sitting, waiting.
On the back.
Wet getting put into those pedals. Hats off to all the cyclors today in these tricky, puffy conditions. Lots of gear changes. Way harder to sail a boat in these conditions than it is when it's 15 or 16 knots. The lighter it is, the trickier it is in most cases.
On INEOS, 2 of the cyclers always have a sailing background, and I'm sure they have other functions. Quite often you see them heads up actually looking at things. That is Luke Parkinson. offshore sailor, cup sailor, regular with Ben Ainsley.
Bit of a tempo, Parker, along this way at the moment. Hands to the finish here, right? Yeah. Build squeeze. Okay, touch more pressure in 5. Open course now.
Same that before. Very nice pressure here. It's kind of changing now.
Red Bull Racing coming up to complete the 5th leg of 6.
On our left.
And the debrief will be long, it'll hurt, but that's what you've got to expect when you're racing in the America's Cup. Little moments cost big. They get around it. Both boards down, finally get one up. And they're away again, heading for home.
T110. Fast. Nice pressure in front. 25 to battery.
Definitely looks like that. Slightly more pressure increasing.
20.
That top end of the course out that side. So Alinghi choosing to do the same manoeuvre as they did on the last leg, the tack bear away, executing both manoeuvres really well.
Okay, keep going. Yeah. Keep a little bit of that. Rebuild here now.
There's a real dialogue between both sides on INEOS Britannia, and I'm not sure we're quite hearing that to the same extent on Alinghi.
Down.
You know, decisions seem to evolve on INEOS Britannia. They're discussed in advance.
Got to be intuitive, don't they? Don't know what the other's sort of thinking. And they just have pure trust in each other that what they've decided is the way to go. INEOS Britannia, the official challenger of record, are steaming home on the first day of the Louis Vuitton Cup Finals. And when they cross the line, they will go 2-0 against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. What a start to the day of the semi-finals.
What's your arm? Here we go. Yeah, keep my tap. Finish off the course.
Not much more we can say about INEOS Britannia. We've said it for the last 4 or 5 races. They've got a handle on their boat. Boy, they obviously are happy in the coach boat as well, because job well done, they'll be saying. Time for a cup of tea and a lie down and a debrief.
Yeah, there's no one else.
Zavi getting a little pat on the head there, as he should. Full team doing a fantastic job. They'll be very happy with the day.
Quite light after the bottom, but
on lefty.
So as we see Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming down for the final time today, what do you think they're going to make of their day, Glenn, and where they need to pick up?
Yeah, I think that last pre-start was a real tricky one for the team, and sailing into light conditions and not being able to stay on the foils, I think, was really the Achilles heel for getting off the start line in that second race today. So not much you can do when you're on the back foot. They did get going again, but we're just out of it, and they'll definitely have some things to work on as a team, but we've seen them sail really, really well in the past, and they'll come out tomorrow all guns blazing, no question there.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing, they will come across the finish line and they'll finish the day without a win. But remember, it's the first to 5 race wins if you want to be in the Louis Vuitton Cup final. So never say never in the world of America's Cup racing. But it's been a dominant day on the water for INEOS Britannia. Confirmation of that win. 1 minute and 37 seconds. The first one was 2 minutes and 5 this time. 1 minute and 37 seconds. So one might say an improvement by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. As, wow, those boats are impressive, aren't they? 2 greens. That means 2 good wins for INEOS Britannia, the official challenger of record against Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Shirley, this was the moment, I think, in the pre-start that really set the scene for this final race of the day.
Wind test in this race.
And Just coming off the foils there, and you do that when you're heading towards the boundary. It is a long way back from there, low riding.
Yeah, they got a penalty from that also. He called it pretty early.
Big push.
But they did well. They got back up and running. Had to shake off that penalty, so had to have a good distance behind INEOS.
And INEOS there immediately tacking before they actually got across the line, so making that penalty even harder to wash off. And from there, INEOS really didn't put a foot wrong. They linked up some beautiful lanes, some fantastic breeze, and joined the dots beautifully. And I think they're really sailing their boat well, and we're seeing some huge improvements there over the last couple of weeks or so. So they'll be feeling very confident.
Yeah, by the third gate, they were way out in front. As you said, slick performance, smooth manoeuvres, just pulling it all together. They looked faultless. Well, so far ahead, we enjoyed watching the teamwork and listening to it all. Dylan Fletcher, Ben Ainsley, Bledin Mon and Lee McMillan pulling it all together. What a masterclass of light wind sailing.
Your tap? Yeah, nice work, guys. Solid. We'll round up here.
As Ben said, solid, nice work, INEOS Britannia. Take the win, the second win of the day.
Nice work, guys. Solid. We'll round up here. That's 2, 5. There we go. Board down. Landing. Right, well.
So, INEOS Britannia heading home after a dominant display. Let's see if we can clock into Ben Ainsley. Ben, congratulations on a wonderful day, but starts, man, they're challenging today, aren't they, on both races?
Oh yeah, it's pretty light out there, you can see that, and the Swiss had a few problems coming off the foil and boundary penalties, and yeah, the guys did a really good job just to keep the boat foiling. And then after that, you know, it's had a nice race, but it's been tricky today with this wind. Really shifting, really puffy, tough for all of the teams, I think.
But you must be incredibly proud of this team and yourself, of course, being able to get yourselves out of conditions that could go custard.
Oh yeah, it's plenty of jeopardy out here right now. The team, yeah, the whole team have done a great job to keep developing the boat, both on the water and in the shed. You know, working over the last couple of days since around Robins. Just got to keep trying to get faster.
Thanks, mate.
We've got a quick question for Dylan Fletcher. I can see he's busy, but Dylan, it has been a pleasure watching you race by race get better and better and more confident. You know, what does it feel like on the boat?
Yeah, as Ben said, it's a very tricky day, but good to get a couple of wins on the board first day of the semis, and just we know we need to keep working hard and finding more performance, but really appreciate the effort the short teams put in to keep Britannia getting faster and faster.
Dylan, do you think INEOS Britannia has any weaknesses, or are you the whole package?
Yeah, I think like all teams, we all have our weaknesses, but we'll keep them close to our chests.
Thanks for your time, Dylan. Nice day today. 2-0, buddy. Let's go on to Alinghi Red Bull Racing, Arno Sarafogis. Arno, debrief's going to be a tough one, but you're not out of this, man. Your starts are good. Just got to keep on keeping on. I know you guys always look eyes forward.
Yeah, as you say, and the debrief will not be much different than usual. I think we just need to stay focused and keep fighting. Everything can happen. Really tricky condition, and I think, yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of points and a lot of race to go, so we're just going to look forward and be ready for tomorrow for the next fight. Yes.
Was it just the wind at the start that caught you out?
Yeah, for sure. On this one, it's the wind that really put us in the wrong spot. But it's all right. We're just gonna keep pushing, and tomorrow we'll be back on track and fully ready to race.
Thanks, mate. We're going to jump across to Max.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, Max, Glenn here. That pre-start, mate, looks super tricky there. Really light air. It's not an easy feeling. What are your thoughts on board there in those pre-starts?
Yeah, we saw that was more wind, jump more up, but we get caught a bit too low on the box to come back for the pre-start. So yeah, like dropping off the foil. So yeah, very bad from us. But yeah, let's keep pushing for the other day, like Arno said.
Yeah, Max, you've been in this position before and you came home really strong in the round robins. Will it be the same mentality going into it tomorrow?
Of course, like we are a team that like keeping pushing, and we for sure we will have a good debrief and be back stronger.
Okay, look forward to seeing you on the water tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, this was the key moment, really, before the start even happened, where it all unravelled for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They found themselves off the foil and stuck outside of the boundary. And before today, being this far outside on the boundary would have been a disqualification, but luckily for them, the last few days, the teams had all agreed a rule change. But starting with a big penalty distance to scrub off was far from ideal and really offered them no way back into this race. Tough race for the Swiss outfit.
So let's crunch the numbers from this race with our good folk at Omega. Glenn, what are you seeing?
Well, we're seeing some pretty different numbers at times there for both boats. I think the downwind speed of the British, as we've identified previously, that's sort of 0.6, 0.7 of a knot there, higher to them. So that really does add up over the sort of 4 legs to, you know, really make a big difference in the overall time, and particularly on the downwinds, quite quick speeds there from the British. Distance sailed there, just coming off the foils for the Swiss team. You know, a lot of extra distance sailed there, nearly a kilometre more distance sailed. So really important to keep the boat on the foils in those light air conditions. And tacks and jibes fairly similar, but at the end of the day, it was really the extra distance and coming off the foils that cost the Swiss a lot of time and distance.
All right, let's head onto the water with Peter Lester, who's probably heading back on Chase Era. But Peter, I'd love your thoughts on the day itself. And it's easy to say who stood out, but who stood out and why?
Oh, obviously the teams that have won, but for me, for the event, so many lead changes. And some of that was because of the conditions, but that just makes for great racing. The other thing that's running through my mind, this is only a series of first to win 5 races. The boats that haven't won a point, they better get cracking tomorrow.
Pete, are you starting to see any sort of blink of favouritism? I mean, I know we've got two clear race winners, so if those two go through, what are you thinking? Or are you just going to hold that for a moment?
Look, they're the favourites, for sure. I think INEOS and Rossa will be the favourites to go through, and what a hell of a final that will be if that turns out.
All right, mate, thanks for your time on the water. We'll catch you tomorrow. There's the statue of Christopher Columbus saying, I know there are burgers that way. Good burgers are that way. It's a magnificent monument here in Barcelona. But we thought what we'd do right now to complete day one is go back over the first 3 races and have a look at, first of all, race number 1, which was, of course, Rossa, Prada Pirelli and American Magic, and how this one unfolded.
Yeah, both boats got caught with a drop in wind pressure. They were both late for the start. I mean, uncharacteristic error, really, from Rossa. And American Magic really capitalised on that.
Just this little touchdown here after the lead of American Magic, and that big wash off of speed there just allowed Rossa Prada Pirelli, it's been a long day, to get the slingshot and close the gap, and then basically come into this bottom mark, big speed differential, roll straight into the tack and actually keep the race alive and get back into it again. And this next manoeuvre was probably the one of the race, surely, which ultimately gave the Italians the lead coming into the finish.
It was so close right until the end. Rossa Prada Pirelli take the win, but what a battle all the way around. Loved it.
I think the thing about that one was the performance and the comeback by American Magic, showing that how close and how much maybe more settled they have come. And we take a look at race number 1 between Switzerland and INEOS Britannia.
This is where we saw both boats late for the start. The British much later than they would like to be, giving the early advantage to Alinghi Red Bull Racing, and then a fairly late call there to jibe on the Swiss boat, and the British just blow on by.
Great boat speed, wasn't it, downwind by INEOS Britannia. They just got further and further ahead on those downwind legs. Very impressive speed.
Yeah, really nice boat handling in these light conditions, and the British coming through for their race win. Very, very solid day for the British team.
And then, of course, there was race number 3. It was the second crack. And that was between, of course, Luna Rossa, Pirelli, who would come in on starboard, and USA, who would come in on port.
Racing. Fully racing.
See both boats there getting off the line fairly cleanly, and American Magic here just doing a really nice job to keep the Italians at bay, and then exiting this manoeuvre, this bottom gate manoeuvre, just not being able to stay on the foils, and really then opening the door for the Italians to make the pass, which they did. And that pretty much was the race. They dug back into it again, but the Italian team just picking a nice lane out to the right and sailing very cleanly, keeping the Americans behind them quite comfortably.
Again, it was a tight finish, wasn't it, between both the boats, but well defended by Luna Rossa, Pirelli to take the second win of the day.
Nice work, boys. Off race. Well done, lads, on the bikes.
Big day. The crowds have really come out for this opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. And, you know, throughout this Challenger Series, the AC75s of this Emirates Cup have gone all head-to-head off the walls, as we saw today on Barcelona, allowing the tireless design teams the chance to finally assess the performance and build characteristics of each very different race boat.
Hold my wheel in. 5, 3, big one, boys, big oil. Push, guys.
I think it's been really interesting how different the boats are. When you're working in isolation, you come towards an optimal hull shape and optimal foil shapes, and you kind of imagine everyone else is going to come up with the same answers, but they clearly haven't.
Despite being visually quite different boats, the level of racing is very competitive.
The sail-off is a go. Who wants top spot?
Especially in the first, I'd say first beat and first run, they're really close.
I'd say that's too close.
This is the umpires, penalty GBR.
Those first 2 legs are pretty critical, and I think as teams get better at racing, we'll see those first 2 legs, that sort of pattern the whole way through the race.
The America's Cup is a design contest. It's not only a sport contest. It's 3 years, 4 years of development, and I never finish, and it won't finish until the last race.
As a design team, and we never stop trying to get the last 1/10 of a second around a race course out of the boat, but everyone else is doing that too.
All the sort of traditional match racing techniques and things you need to be doing well to be a good yachtsman and a good racing yachtsman are going to be super important, because the boat speed of these boats is starting to really get closer together.
Coming back on now? Yep.
I think all the teams are far more aware now of the effect of the wind shadow, and people are using that as a sort of attack mechanism now.
All that bad air to Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
This could turn into a huge lead.
We are pretty where we wanted to stand. I think we did a good preparation, and I think Team New Zealand, as usual, he came with a nice package.
Huge move there. Emirates Team New Zealand really shutting down Luna Rossa, Pirelli as they come into the top part of the course here.
To be honest, I think American Magic's AC75 is the best looking boat out there. But they obviously pay the price with having recumbent cyclists is basically the biggest trade-off there, where you reduce your frontal drag by having a very sleek, low-profile design, but you've got to rock back your cyclists and you sort of give up on leg power.
And INEOS, I think it's coming now in a learning curve, but although they are very good sailors also and improving quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to say a bad thing about any of the boats.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing have just knocked off one of yachting's big guns.
And happy birthday, Tom Sinclair.
That boat for the Swiss has got very definite features, not too dissimilar to our approach, where they're very aero-focused.
When you see the whole package and how the fleet has come together, I think that we are, as a design team, we are pretty happy what we have achieved. likely we're gonna go through and we can make the America's Cup once again. And it's gonna be our second chance to show what we can do as a design team.
The opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-final series has provided plenty for us. We talk about designs and we're all trying to figure out who's got the fastest boat. We know, team, the fastest boat can win the 37th America's Cup, but gee, some teams have made their presence felt as we go deep into this regatta.
Some really tight racing today, and I think we've seen some great battles both in the pre-start and around the racetrack. So I'm looking forward to definitely the next couple of days of racing. Really, really great tight battles, which makes it exciting for us, Shirley, in the commentary booth, as well as for everybody else.
With both the Luna Rossa American Magic battles were epic today, right until the end. It could have gone either way. And for American Magic, you know, they didn't get the wins, but a lot to take away from their performance.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a moment, because it has been one of those days where it's the semi-finals and they all delivered on the road to the big one, which of course is winning this, the Louis Vuitton Cup. You get the chance to win this. You've got to win 5 races, we know, to get to that point. Then you've got to win 7 races to get to the big dance, which is the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. So we are still a long way off, although some teams have done super well today. And let's just confirm what we saw today. So in the semi-final race between INEOS Britannia and Alinghi Red Bull Racing, it's 2-0. And the same applies for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli against New York Yacht Club's American Magic, although the Americans will walk away. They will walk away disappointed. But I tell you what, there's something to tomorrow could be a different day. As Tom Slingsby has said, be consistent, you can win the cup. And this is what happens tomorrow. We open up with Alinghi Red Bull Racing against INEOS Britannia. And then it's the Italians against the French, and we do it all again. So it's another busy day, day 2 of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals off the coast of Barcelona, which has really thrown us some crazy conditions and magnificent shots coming from our helicopter team. And it'll be an exciting day. What do you want to see tomorrow? What do you want to see tomorrow?
Good breeze and good battles.
Good breeze, that was it. That's all you wanted. Well, you're a man easily pleased, Shirley. What do you want to see?
Yeah, some tight tussles, I think. I'd like to see American Magic, you know, come out punching and have some real battles there with Luna Rossa.
And I think what we saw today in that battle is what we all expected to see, and that was, of course, the fact that this can turn into classic match racing, despite these boats being at the leading edge of technology. They are fast, they are exciting, they are futuristic, but gee whiz, they are a lot of fun to be a part of. And wherever you are around the world, we trust you enjoyed the opening day. The opening day, yes, we did. Claps all around for the opening day of the Louis Vuitton Cup semi-finals. We will be back tomorrow. Make sure you are a part of it. The 37th America's Cup.